Hey everybody, welcome to 20 Sides Every Story. We're going to get started here with some Spelljammer. So it has been, as my VTT has told me, I believe 35 days since we last played. A lot has happened. I postponed our game because it landed on Halloween, which I appreciate the players. Thank you. Took the kids out for some Halloween. And then the last game, I had some very big work stuff that came up that just totally nuked the game the day of. So we are making it up today, and then we're going to be going back to our normal cycle. I think in 3 weeks is the idea, though there's some wrinkles to that one as well. So we'll talk about it. So, but that said, it is Spelljammer time. So a couple things about the channel. First of all, if you are new to the channel and you are wanting to follow along with other people, you can hang out on the Twitch. You can also hop into our Discord. I will talk about it a little bit more towards the end, but Discord is a place where we all like to hang out. So there's a few people in there already. In Gen 2, I'm sure they're watching our game and not at all doing something else. That's almost certainly what's happening in that Gen 2, I'm sure. But regardless, though, come on in and say hi. We have a really great community, and we offer up community games for people who are a member of the Discord. It's no cost, no buy-in. You don't subscribe or like have any kind of like nitro or any of that nonsense. Just jump in the community and you can check us out and play some games with us. I recruited this game from our Discord group. I myself came into the channel in the first place by playing in a community game. I think that's true for Ryan, and I think that's true. Well, it's true for David, sort of. David, you had a head up, you had a referral, but that's how things operate. So it's a lot of fun out there. That said, tonight we're gonna be playing Spelljammer, and we got a lot to cover today. I'd like to get to kind of a juicy point, and if we can get there, we get there. If not, we'll get there next time. So we're gonna get started. So this has been a while, players. I will first open up with just a recap of what you're doing, what the current situation is, just to make sure everybody's on the same page. I was talking about it a little bit before the stream came on, but just to be extremely specific about it. And then I think what we'll do is just a little quick character introduction per person. We don't have to go into like full-on backstory, but just for your fellow players and anyone who's following along in the audience, like just a recap. So we'll start with the situation. So everybody should be on the Rock of Brawl map. Let me go ahead and activate that. Oh, I don't need to. It's already activated. So is everybody there? You got the foundry up and all that? Mm-hmm. Okay, great. And everything is loading up. I realized I did not preload these other maps. I'm going to do that now just to make sure that things go out nicely. And so what had happened last session? You had made your way to the Rock of Brawl after departing from the Moon Dancer. And you were given a tip that there was a Gif by the name of Commodore Crux who has a beef with the Xaryxian Empire. So the Xaryxians are the elves, or the astral elves that had destroyed or potentially eventually going to destroy Mycopia. And as far as you know, there's no way to stop the problem. But you are aware this empire's out there. They're sucking the life out of planets to feed their evil star that keeps their planet alive. And Commodore Crux is this Gif who's kind of down on his luck. You find him in the tavern. He was drinking, hanging out with a parrot that wasn't even his own parrot, and he was just kind of down in the dumps. But he has this beef with the elves, and he knows a little bit about their operations, and he took interest in you. And you seem to like know what you were doing. You seem competent. You're persuasive. And he has decided to join you in your quest to figure out what's going on with Mycopia and maybe put a shutdown to the Xaryxians. However, on your way to your ship, you were ambushed by some astral elves, some Xaryxian warriors. They jumped you in the street. You managed to cleverly distract a couple of them, and then you had your Umbra Hulk friend, who's like your bodyguard, if you remember that guy. He just basically, he crushed one of them. I think you killed one of the other ones. Like there was a whole big fight, and y'all did a great job of sort of subduing the fight. However, during the fight, you realized that these elves are given essentially diplomatic amnesty or immunity, rather, from interacting with you. So basically, the Xaryxian Empire has some connections on the Rock of Brawl. And with that information, and Commander Crux's urging, you have decided to depart the asteroid, escape the city as soon as possible before you have any additional troubles from anyone else on the rock. And the ship you have made yourself to is oh my gosh, I don't have the name.
Second Wind.
Second Wind, that's what it is. Second Wind, great. I was gonna say like the living something, but the Second Wind is a special ship because it has a treant in the center of the ship that provides oxygen, like this recurring oxygen to the entire ship. It's large enough that it serves as like it keeps the air healthy and fresh, which is something that can go a little stale as you're flying around. And the treant's name is Starbo, and you have been invited on the ship by Commander Crux. And in the sort of transfer of the ship, there was a little extra bit of drama, and that Commander Crux really was like, again, this guy's down on his luck. He was renting the ship out to a tiefling who did not want to give the ship up. She had sort of a smuggling deal lined up. It was going to make a lot of money. She was a little bit upset about the situation, but you managed to bribe her with a magical breastplate that you took off of the corpse of a mind flayer. So a lot of things have happened in that session. You made your way onto the ship, and the tiefling, she was kind enough to assist Koraz, and this is something that we kind of just decided happened off screen. Koraz, you were past the attunement to the Spelljammer helm, which makes you a Spelljammer. So Koraz the Hive. And so you are now the pilot of the ship. Hopefully nothing bad is going to happen because of that, but we'll see. It depends on some decision making. I do have a question for you, Koraz. How many hit points do you have? I should look that up.
I have 32 hit points.
Okay. It's important to know that for a thing. Okay, good. So you're now the pilot of the ship. So what I'm going to say is, for the sake of like flavor, you were able to fly the ship, you're able to direct it, and basically you use your mind to like connect with the ship and just drive it around. What I will say about that is it's still sort of a strange experience. You're taking a few moments to attune. Even if you've used the Spelljammer helm before, it's kind of like, you got to get to know the ship. It's like if you ever you're driving like a manual and you got to get the handle on the clutch, exactly how much you got to push in or whatever on the clutch. And so you're kind of like getting the hang of the ship as you're flying around. But while you're doing that, we will jump over to each person. And what I'd like you to do is just describe to everyone your character. Describe your character. So just give us your name, your race, your class, what level you are, and in each of that, if you have any multi-class going on. And the one thing you're doing is, what are you doing on this ship? You've just taken off on the Rock of Brawl. What activity are you performing on the ship in light of all the stuff that's been going on? And we'll start with Alex.
Hey everyone, I am playing Zephistopholes, level 6 Thrycreen Ranger. And I think just given that we might be on the ship for a bit, and I've got all my cooking utensils and whatnot, I'm going to go and find the kitchen and just kind of give it an inspection, make sure it's up to standards, there's any crew on board that are the attendants in there. I'll probably put them to work, make sure, get things set up the way that I like them.
Good. And you are able to find the kitchen. The kitchen is well stocked. I'm blanking on her name. Is it Fellardra or Tellardra?
I thought it was Fellardra.
I think it's Fellardra. That sounds right. Sounds a little more spooky as well. So Fellardra, she was stocking up for a trip. So there's food, there's supplies, there's kind of pretty much anything that you might want to do on the ship. However, to your dismay, the ship is not really crewed by that many people. You've got Starbo, who's great because Starbo serves as kind of almost like a lookout. Plus, you may have noticed he has all these like mangonel, like basically these cannonballs that are like all dispersed around him within arm's reach. And so you get the impression that not only is he kind of a lookout, he also is willing to join in a fight. You have him. You have the first mate, and he is on board the ship as well. And what was his name? I feel like the players remember more about this than I do. A lot of stuff has happened in the past 35 days. His name is Mr. Flinch. So Mr. Flinch, he is the Hadozi first mate. He's aboard the ship. And then, of course, you have Commodore Crux. And other than that, oh, hey, Chris, thanks, Albasaurus Jones. Thank you for the sub, tier 1 sub. 40 months in a row. It's got to be like a top 10, right, Chris? Probably. I don't know. Anyways, but you've got Flinch, you've got Starbo, you've got Commodore Crux, and then you got yourselves, which is including the entire party, and then an Umber Hulk. Which I don't know that the Umber Hulk has a name. Did we give a name to the Umber Hulk?
It's Teddy.
Yeah. Teddy, that's right. Teddy the Umber Hulk. Okay, cool. So let's pop over to Placebo.
All right. Well, I'm Robyn. I'm playing Placebo. Placebo is a plasmoid monk. And level 6. Yep, I'm trying to get all those things in there. And I think Placebo would be maybe trying to interact with Teddy a bit. Maybe not in an insulting way, teach tricks, but maybe, see if we could organize some tactics together, because he's a very strong fighter. So Placebo's hanging out with Teddy and trying to learn some communication.
Yeah, and I think we figured out that Umber Hulk speak the language Umber Hulk,
Yeah.
which is just such a strange aspect. I feel like there's got to be like some backstory to that, like some kind of first edition stuff. But yeah, and so you have learned by now not to look at the Umber Hulk, not to look at Teddy too closely, because you get kind of mesmerized, and so you're maybe like, kind of doing some sparring with them, keeping your face turned and or whatever you use to observe things. And he's trying to communicate with you, but it's just like these weird clicks that sounds a little bit like the Thrycreen, but just something a little bit raspier, a little deeper. Just doesn't quite, can't quite communicate.
That is all right. I will continue to work on it.
Cool. And then we'll pop on over to your brother, so David.
All right, so I am playing Ichabod, who is also a plasmoid brother or sibling of Placebo, level 6 bard from the College of Eloquence. And Ichabod has had his world or universe turned upside down. He kind of was a homebody scholar and has been on sort of a battle after battle, everyone wants to kill you adventure. So he is kind of, I imagine him sitting under the tree ants branches and just kind of contemplating his place in the multiverse and just trying to kind of wrap his mind around how, he was really hopeful that they'd find some allies on the Rock of Brawl, but then it seemed the governor of the Rock of Brawl had thrown him. He's kind of, his spirits are pretty low, so he's kind of just trying to collect his thoughts and, I don't know, deal with the despairing series of events.
Okay. And so you're sitting there, underneath the tree ant, and it starts to like kind of rustle, like you can feel the leaves kind of shaking a bit. And then you hear a groaning noise, like wood sort of groaning as the wind's blowing. And then you seem sad. And like a branch kind of like brushes near you.
Yeah, and I think he wouldn't be surprised that it's talking to him. He is aware that the tree ant is alive, and I think he would just kind of nod slowly and maybe take off top hat and just kind of look down and explain that his planet is in peril and everyone seems no one seems to be on their side except perhaps he does have some hope that Crux, the Commodore, will prove helpful, but just he'll level with the tree ant, but he's not as loquacious as he usually is. He's not really putting on a friendly diplomatic air like he tends to with everyone. He's kind of keeping it real. He's at a low point.
Okay. And you'll kind of explain all this to the tree, and it'll just like kind of groan and rustle, like all so like saying like It's like just kind of just like making little ambient noises to like confer, and then one of the little arms is gonna kind of go back closer to the base of the tree and come back, and it's got a little flower in it. Just cheer you up, and it just plucks the flower right into your goo, just like.
Ichabod will thank him, take the flower and tuck it in the brim of his hat, and yeah, looks slightly cheered, but still contemplative, quiet, or contemplative, if you prefer.
So let's pop on over to Ryan. Ryan, tell us about what your character and what he is up to.
Yeah, I am playing Koraz the Hive, level 6 Thrycreen sorcerer. And, he's just been handed over the reins of the second wind, so he's sitting in the Spelljammer, and especially since Commodore Crux hasn't told me where we're going yet, I really enjoyed flying around aimlessly. And I'm feeling this. It's like being in the total perspective vortex. I love it.
Yeah, that's exactly. And you're getting like this rush off this attunement to the Spelljammer helm, and the ship is coming. It's becoming more and more attuned to you, and you're getting more comfortable piloting around. And yes, you're just sort of like just flying around randomly, but away from the rock. But it's definitely this like erratic trip. And Commodore Crux will at this point recognize that that's the thing, and he'll come up to you, Koraz, and be like, "Bro, we should discuss the next steps. Come, let's gather out of the whole crew." And he'll go around and try to gather everybody up into like one central room on the ship, and he'll get you all together. Unless we've got everybody kind of coming in except for Starbo, because he's like rooted. And he also is like, I don't know if he's so much about the decision making. He's just there to like hang out and be alive on the ship. But he'll bring everybody else, and Captain Flinch will come in, and he's smoking a big cigar. There's a short Hadozi, and he looks a little disinterested, like Hadozi might. They kind of, the cynical, withered type. But Commodore Crux will address the rest of you and say, "So I told you we're going to Doom Space." And he'll pull out a little map and explain, say, "So Koraz, we have information. You will pilot us here. What we know is that in Doom Space, there's a coalition that is forming," and he kind of looks like a little bit conspiratorial. He leans over, "to oppose the Xaryxian. It's a organization of like minds that want to stop this madness, people who've been harmed by them. And I propose that we join them, help them have a bit more organization, maybe bring some factions together, ensure that the coalition has a chance to strike at the Xaryxians. What do you say?"
I like that idea very much.
Yes, we have been in short supply of allies since our quick exodus from Macopia, so we certainly could use the resources and any support that may be out there.
You can see him start to... Oh, go ahead.
I was just going to say I am a bit concerned. The name Doomspace, however, does not sound very welcoming.
It doesn't?
Well, it could be an intentional misnomer. Maybe it is a very pleasant place, but because they don't want riffraff, they give it a very opposing name. Or it could be like so many things we've experienced, that it is just populated with creatures that want to destroy us in some way, shape, or form.
So he'll say, "Oh, it has a name for a reason. I can guarantee you that."
What threats can we expect, Commodore?
He looks at you a little bit, and he's like, "Well, I mean, doom and space, and you could he says he has never been there before. It's obvious that he doesn't know anything about it, or not much about it.
But we have a map. We know how to get there. You can show me how to zoom us there.
Yes and no. You see,
Those are two different words.
he's like, well, the plan is, you see, I have a friend who has set up shop in Doomspace. It's been a while since I've talked to her, but she's a cartographer. She knows a lot about these systems, and Doomspace is where she's called home for quite some time. She's no friend of the Xaryxians, and I feel very confident that if we can find her, we should be able to get more information about Doomspace and find out where this coalition actually is. And you can see his confidence kind of deflates a bit as he's like explaining the plan. Her name is Topola. She's a talented cartographer. I promise you that.
And she's somewhere in Doomspace.
She lives on the edge. So as long as we can find her, and I feel confident, I know my last correspondence where she is, she could give us information about the rest of the wild space.
Well, if she's there, we'll find her.
He's like, well, that's the spirit. And he like pats you on the back and he gets big and like confident again. You see, it's just a matter of finding Topola, and then she'll tell us where the coalition is. We'll go see them, and then we'll convince them to stop the Xaryxians. Just like that.
It'll happen just like that.
Very few steps. I like it.
He pulls a pipe out of his pocket and just starts to kind of get it in his mouth. He's like, we can do this together.
Yep,
Koraz.
Putting it in my
Take us
day
to
planner.
Doomspace. What?
I'm putting it in my day planner.
Circle it 2 times. Koraz.
And Doomspace is that way. That way? Which way? Where are we going?
He pulls the map out and he like kind of like indicates a general direction. He's like, yes, definitely here, right here. And he's indicating on this little paper map. Just, I tell you, go talk to the Spelljammer helm. I trust that you can pilot us to these coordinates.
And on the map, do we see like, are there any other like things in between or things to be aware of between us and where we're going, like other systems, other or black crystal spheres or whatever?
Yeah,
stuff?
so you keep getting on this conspiracy about crystal spheres. What are these crystal spheres? Yeah, so what's going to happen is you're currently in, I don't remember the name of the wild space that you're in that contains the Rock of Brawl. I don't remember if I gave y'all the name for it, but okay. We'll just call it the Brawl space. But anyways, the Rock of Brawl is its own wild space. And essentially what you're going to do is you're going to travel through the astral sea between the Brawl wild space and the Doom space that we know about.
Okay.
So you'll have to kind of cut that. And you know, like, enough that if you get into the astral sea, if you have a general sense of the coordinates, that the ship itself basically like almost takes care of the problem for you.
Yeah. And I think my background as an astral drifter too probably have some understanding of that. So okay, cool.
I can help you. I have experience with navigating. I can help as well.
Cool. Yeah,
Awesome.
and you would say, like, as soon as you realize Crux is kind of fumbling around the map, Placebo, you said you have a expertise or a proficiency in cartographer tools or something?
Navigator tools and space vehicles.
Oh, with space vehicles.
Yeah.
That's an amazing.
I'm a wild spacer, like my background, so.
Nice.
That's a really That's an amazing background.
It has mostly been fishing ships, but I know space vehicles.
Okay, cool. So yeah, so you'll be able to see like Crux is kind of fumbling about, and maybe you can correct a little bit about what he's trying to point out on the map and what he's trying to explain poorly. You could tell that he's used to relying on other people to do all this kind of stuff. This is not his forte.
Very, very close. Almost good. That is my encouraging way to try to compliment him.
Gotcha.
Nice. Yeah, I'll take all the input, and I'll probably go over to the spell jamming helm, and then start heading that way. Start heading to where we're going.
So you pick up.
Is it like a teenager learning to like use a stick shift, and it's like we're starting, and then we suddenly are stopping, and
Yeah, you go like, super fast, and then he stops. It's like ludicrous mode. Yeah, and so no problem. So you plug into the spell jamming helm, and it was just a matter of like moments. You were able to get the sucker just zooming on its way to the edge of the wild space, and basically, you're gonna hit the edge of the wild space, and once you hit the edge of the wild space, you enter into the astral sea. You're familiar with it. Everyone else, I don't know who all might have had experience with the astral sea.
I think so.
Okay. So, I mean, if you've had experience with it, those of you who've been travelers, I think maybe the only one might be Ichabod. You might not have ever hit it. But, or I guess you probably had to even get here, right? So, yeah, never mind. That's right. We've been through it.
Yeah, we've been through it.
So you know the deal. So once you hit that astral sea, it's like getting into the highway. There's really just like you just drive down the lane, and like your brain, Koraz, is just exploding with information. Like you're just, I don't know if have you ever piloted a ship before?
I don't think so. This is probably the first. This is the first time. I don't think anybody would have trusted Koraz with that sort of responsibility up until now. Talking about Flogston inspectors and all this.
Right. And you get into the sea, and it's like this explosion of like three-dimensional imagery in your brain. It's like having like a synesthetic reaction. Like you have so much knowledge about directions. You could go anywhere. You could just think it. You could just feel the ship moving down that path, and you're focusing hard on doom space. Or maybe it's up to you if you are, I suppose.
Don't think of the Flox Inspector.
You start thinking of the Flox Inspector, and the ship just goes erratically.
No, I'm definitely thinking of the Doom Space, and I think I'm also probably going to use the woman's name that we're seeking for as like sort of a mantra, as well as we're doing that, knowing the way that the Astral Sea works, and knowing that we're not entirely sure where she is, hoping that the intention will help bring us to her.
Cool. And it functions. And pretty soon, you find yourself coming out of the Astral Sea into Doom Space. And as you enter into Doom Space, you have a few moments to kind of collect your thoughts at the edge of this wild space. And all of a sudden, your ship shoots to a stop. And right when that happens, you see a gigantic squid-like ship that has come out right behind you out of the Astral Sea, and it immediately closes on you. And I'm going to take you onto a map, and this is what the creature looks like. Those of you who have any sort of knowledge of ships or anything, you would recognize this as what's called an aesthetic. And I'll tell you what, like, we're not going to do rolls, like, you decide what your character would know. But an aesthetic is a type of ship that is piloted by a kind of creature called a Rygar. So a Rygar they're basically like, probably the best way to think of a Rygar is they're kind of like, what if an octopus evolved into like humanoid? So they are like kind of squid people, basically, or octopi people. And they have the ability to like alter their skin color. They're, it's kind of like this, like they can like become bioluminescent and everything like that. They're kind of a strange very like mystical, sort of enchanting creature. And this is an aesthetic that has just like basically, as far as you can tell, trailed you to this moment. And as soon as the ship opens up and it's just like right on you, like hyperspace mode, both your ships slow back down to that classic crawl. And who is on deck?
Well, I think I was going to try to convince Koraz to take us to some pretty sweet fishing spots along the way.
You got your pole
I guess. Oh, geez, I didn't even have to ask.
Yeah, I think it depends on whether Koraz would have known we were approaching and would have given us kind of a heads up. Because I think Ichabod would just kind of assume that, well, we're probably going to have to fight something. So he would have probably given a half-hearted motivational speech spell to, like, just in case, there's trouble, because there always seems to be trouble.
There's always trouble. So let's, I will allow you to have that. So is that like a temporary hit points thing?
It's like a 1 minute. Yeah, it's a. Let me see if I can find it. I thought it was a spell.
What about you, Placebo, while Dave was looking that up? Are you on deck?
I think I would be watching Koraz, because it is very fascinating. And plus, I am trying to help.
So, okay, so David, look that up. It may be important here in a couple seconds.
Yeah, so up to 5 creatures, which would be myself, my 3 companions, and I guess Teddy. Hopefully Teddy's hanging out with us, so he would be the 5th. And yeah, we gain 5 temp hit points and have advantage on wisdom saving throws.
Cool. That may also be really helpful. Is Teddy on deck, do y'all think?
Better be.
You know what? I'm going to give you every advantage you need. That's fine. Teddy's on deck. So Teddy's like hanging out, like looking at, maybe he's like holding a fishing pole as well, just kind of like wondering, what's going on? What's the plan here? And this ship just jumps into space and then emits this screeching, cacophonous, high-pitched, psychic, energetic scream. And Koraz, you are attuned to the spelljamming ship. You feel this screech start to penetrate your like spelljammer helm, and you can feel that it's like deactivating the helm. And you have the opportunity, if you choose, you have like this sort of pressure in your brain. You feel like maybe you could push back if you wanted.
Yeah, I'm going to.
But it feels like it might be difficult. Sorry.
Okay. I feel like Koraz would. This is like a really exciting feeling for him, and he doesn't want it to go away. He's gonna fight for it.
Yeah, you have this panic attack that the Phlox Inspector has arrived and is invading your brain, and you need to give me a DC 17 Charisma saving throw.
All right, let's do this.
Koraz needs some new shoes. And I don't think I'm gonna get them.
Oh.
Ooh. Koraz. So you resist the Spelljammer scream. Let me just double check the damage on this. And you feel this pulsing energy of like psychic pain just in your brain. The Phlox Inspector is multiplying all throughout your psyche, and it's just like pointing at you and laughing and like just it has this it's going to be destroying everything in the world. You failed this like paranoid moment, and you're going to take 40 psychic damage.
All right, I've got -8 hit.
It's you. So you were watching this Placebo. His Koraz is like, and he's like concentrating, and just like he just like smoke comes out of his brain. And he just collapses on the ground.
I can do something about that. I can use a key point to do Hand of Healing and get you some hit points. So I will do that. I will use my ability. It's not damage though, because it's Hand of Healing. So I don't know. I'll roll damage, but it's supposed to heal you. So 5 hit points.
Okay,
It's helpful.
from 0 to 5 is very helpful.
And Koraz, because of your valiant effort, the ship, instead of being shut down for 8 days, is shut down for 8 hours.
Okay.
Way to take one for the team.
Yeah.
Damn you, Dad!
And with that, we're going to roll initiative. So let me go ahead and get the... Oh, actually, no. We'll do one more thing. So this happens, and as soon as this like scream shatters your, brain or whatever, Koraz, 2 dimension door spells fire off. You wouldn't be able to see them to counterspell. They're from inside the ship. And 4 people arrive on deck. And the first one is... Where is he? And we're going to put him... He's going to arrive. They're going to be intelligent about this. They're not going to arrive right next to the Humber Hulk. So...
But Teddy's friendly.
Yeah. And there we go. Okay, cool. So these 2 on the far left, they arrive out of one portal, and then the 2 at the bottom, they arrive at the other portal. And the one that's slightly different art, the blue one, he is this fantastical looking person who's just they're cloaked in this beautiful flowing purple cape, holding a trident, and there's this halo, kind of this like energetic halo over their head. And they say, so, heading to Tupila's Tower, are we? I don't think so. My friends in the Xaryxian Empire don't want you meddling in their affairs. But forgive me, I haven't introduced myself. My name is Sustain. When the elves came looking for a suitable world to nourish their dying star, I suggested Mucopia. It is every day I get to witness the destruction of a planet. I promise it will end beautifully, even if you're not alive to see it. And we will roll initiative.
Did you say his name is Disdain?
Hustain.
Oh, well,
My
I know
name
what
is
I feel.
Disdain. So, and then I'll add what we'll say is Placebo and Koraz. You are below deck. We'll say that it'll take 60 feet of movement to get on deck, and you'll come out like underneath Starbow.
Okay.
Like over here someplace. But let me get y'all on the actual... Are you on the initiative already? No.
No.
Okay.
Oh, I was writing down the speech. I was too busy writing speech.
Okay, so let me get you... Are you on there now, Robyn?
I can probably roll it from my
Yeah,
sheet because I didn't know where my token was. So
Sure. Oh yeah, your token is... What we'll do is I'll move your token on here just to have it on. I'm just gonna put it over there. And same thing for you, Koraz, but you're below deck.
I was able to just roll initiative though from the character sheet, so I'm on there.
Nice. And we're gonna say Commodore Crux is also below deck, but he would probably be interested in helping the situation. So I'm gonna go ahead and pop him over there. Might get to use his grenade.
Oh, that would be fun.
So, slight little adjustment. You will notice a couple things. One, about these 2 people on the left. The one that's the blue one, that's Sustain, and the one that's right next to him is kind of like this glassy-eyed duplicate of him. It looks exactly like him, but sort of slightly less alive somehow. And so you get the impression that this is like some kind of weird duplicate. It almost looks like a doll. And then same thing is going on down here. This guy here is looks pretty lively, and the one next to it is an identical copy, but sort of like this glassy-eyed, sort of stiff version. And what's happening is they are golems, and I don't know if you would know much about that, but what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to remove them from initiative because they operate kind of like what are things that wizards have? Like familiars. They kind of like operate like familiars. So, Zeph, you're up.
This one over here is the mouthy one.
Yeah, that's the mouthy one.
Okay.
And they're just like swinging this trident around and
I will cast Hunter's Mark. I'm guessing we didn't have any kind of rest since the street encounter.
Not a long rest. I will let you have a short rest
Okay.
if that's necessary.
I'll do Hunter's Mark on them. And okay, I'm gonna move up. Take a couple attacks. Is a 13 hit?
A 13. Duh. Oh God, no.
Second attack. 16.
No.
Okay.
Yeah,
That's
and
it
we'll
for
say
me.
that that you as you're trying to attack him or them, they're spinning their trident, just blocking all your scimitars.
Oh, pretty good here.
All right, cool. Anything else?
That's it for me.
Ichabod.
Oh boy. Okay. So we are gonna try a Hail Mary. I think we're gonna try a Tasha's on the mouthy one.
Okay. The mouthy one.
On Hussein the Ruthless. Or Hussein the Disdained. So you gotta make a wisdom saving.
All right. Okay. So let's do that. Normal. And it's a 13. Is that a fail?
That's a fail. He had to hit 14.
Oh, dang. Okay, so what happens?
Creature falls into a fit of laughter, prone and incapacitated, unable to stand up for the duration. So, yeah, at the end of each of its turns, it can remake the saving throw. But for now,
Oh my gosh.
it is, yeah.
So Hussein is sitting there like doing all they're showing off their moves against Zeph. Say, you think I'm pretty good? You wait till I warm up, and then just started this ridiculous Joker laugh. Claps on the ground, and they're kicking their legs like a child.
Hey, come on now. My fighting wasn't that bad. That's
I get to make
rude.
another wisdom saving throw. All right, here we go. Wisdom saving throw. 16. So that's the end of the turn. So they're still prone, but saving throw is off. And that brings us to Teddy. So let's take turns with the players telling me what Teddy to do. We'll start with we'll go backwards. Robyn, what do you want Teddy to do?
Oh, I think Teddy would try to close in on the biggest threat and help.
Okay. So I'm going to assume that would be the bad guy,
The mouthy one.
the mouthy one. And so Teddy just comes boom, 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 like lumbering across the ship and is just going to take a bunch of attacks. It's going to make 3 attacks.
See if you find this one
And
funny.
advantage, right? Because he's prone.
Oh, you're right. Here, I'll just roll this. Well, the first one definitely hit anyways. Second one missed. And then there's a mandible thrown in there for good measure. And that one also misses. So the claw connects. Oh no, for 6 points of damage.
Teddy, don't be better than me. Don't do that.
Like all these clicky noises. And then that brings us to Commodore Crux, who is going to take his full action to lumber up the stairs. Excuse me. And he'll come out over here and he's like fumbling for his grenade. Koraz, you are prone on the ground.
I'm prone. Okay, so I'll
You know what? You're in a chair. I would say that you would stay up in your chair, like zap in your chair.
okay. So I will, thank my friend for keeping me alive, and then I will probably cast Healing Word on myself, and then use my movement to move 30 feet closer to getting upstairs. So here's the healing word. Oh, thank Lordy. A few more hit points here.
Very nice. I realized too that I did not move the golem, so there may be a golem situation. I'm gonna go back and get this Dane's golem in a second. So the other Rygar is going to communicate in this sort of deep sort of rumbling noise. It'd be deep speech if anyone speaks deep speech. Do you want to speak deep speech?
Yes.
Okay, so it's like, you do?
I do.
Okay, so you're just hearing, let's split up. I'll take the blue guy, you take the big guy. So it's just communicating to its golem. And, it can't get to you. Never mind. He's going to go after Commander Crux. So he will, you know what? No, he's going to, let me just see. What have I got? Can I do anything that's, I know what I'm going to do. So he's going to move up a few feet and Ichabod, this Rygar holds up his trident, and he points it at you, and this energetic, like chaotic, swirling, multicolored beam just swirls down the trident and fires at you. It's a chromatic bolt.
Oh man!
It's a crit. Oh no!
Like that. No.
No.
Oh
Oh
Jesus!
no! It's 45 points. Ichabod.
All right, I'm up with 5 hit points because I had 5 temporary and 45 total. So
Wow.
Nice. That 5 temp, that makes the difference. Ooh. So the type the Rygar chooses, so I'm just gonna choose that it was cold damage. Does that change anything?
it does not.
Okay.
Are you
So
sure
it's
it's not
icy.
acid or poison?
Oh man, that's what I should have picked. This icy ball just impacts you and just freezes a bunch of your body. And just you could feel like this, almost like blows a hole through you, like Terminator 2000 style. Just, and you're freezing up. And that'll be its turn. And then Placebo, you are 60 feet away.
All right, I will.
Oh, actually, I am sorry.
Oh,
I hate to do that, but
No,
the
it's fine.
golems have not moved. So the first golem is going to come up to Teddy, and actually, it's going to be smarter than that. It's going to shoot at Teddy, but it's going to look at Teddy. So let me double check the confusing gauge. So 30 feet of the Umber Hulk. So this thing's within 30 feet, and it must make a charisma saving throw. Okay, so it's going to have to make a charisma saving throw. Oh, come on. What was the number? Was it 15? Yeah. So what's actually going to happen is this Rygar Golem turns around and it's going to do another one of those chromatic bolts against the Umber Hulk, against Teddy. But instead, it fails, and now it has to roll a d8. And I need to re-roll. And on a 7, what does it do? On a 7 rate, the creature makes one melee attack against a random creature or does nothing. So it's not within range of anybody. Let me just double check its range on its trident. And it does not have range for it, so it'll just stand there. It kind of dazed. The other golem is going to do the same thing. It's going to try to hit you, Zeph, with its trident. So it's going to attack twice with the trident. Here's the first one, and here's the second one. So 26, and almost rolled another crit, and a 21. And we're going to do two-handed here. It would always be two-handed. And so you will take 9 and 8. And this is sort of like, then the Umber Hulk strike right up in the business. So now, Placebo, you're up.
I want to run upstairs. I will use my movement and then bonus action Step of the Wind so I can get up there and still have an
that's right.
action. So
Yeah, so it's 60 feet. So you could do the math on your monkeyness.
I have 95 feet or 90 feet if I do because I have 45 feet of movement naturally. So
So you could get to any of these two. I mean, imagine like where Crux is plus 30.
Okay. So I'll come up. Can I tell, like, if I'm just emerging right now, is it clear that one might be a bigger threat than the other, or would I be seeing anything?
I don't know if you would be able to tell off of any particular aspect.
Okay. Well, then
I think you would be able to tell that. I mean, in the heat of fight, I think at this point you couldn't tell what's going on. You just see,
I would go to the closest one then.
yeah.
And I will try to hit that one with my quarterstaff.
Okay, cool. Go for it.
Oh man, come on.
That's a miss.
Yeah.
You swing, and right when you swing, like there's this halo of like floating, colorful motes. They just catch you in this way that you're just like almost mesmerized, and the swing just whiffs.
All right, I will do my extra attack and see if I can hit with that one. Nope, I'm going to do the exact same thing. So, 2 2s is not very helpful.
Did
Okay.
Commodore Crux
I like
get
your
a
two.
turn?
Commander Crux
He
is
ran.
not he's not in combat for some reason. So yeah, no, yeah,
I saw him after
he
Teddy,
ran.
but
He
I didn't-
ran. He ran out.
Oh.
That's
He
what
dashed.
Yeah, he dashed,
Gotcha.
He just doesn't have as
and
much
he's got his
movement.
grenade in his hand.
He's gonna blow up our ship.
All right, anything else?
No, I've used everything I can.
That's right. So at the end of the round, Starbow is going to pick up 2 Mangonel charges and just fling it at the aesthetic. And the aesthetic is going to reach out with its tentacles, and it's just going to like whap at Starbow. So they're having this like kind of like they're fighting each other. And we're not going to track hit points on that situation since it's me fighting me. But just understand that every round, Starbow's taking a little bit of damage, and the aesthetic is getting hurt, and the ship's getting hurt. It's chaos all around all this business. And then it's back to you, Zeph. Yeah, the dice are angry. That's for sure.
Yeah, well, they like you all right.
Yeah.
Yeah,
GM's
critting on
right.
that. Critting on that. Orb. That was bad. So Zeph, you do see Hussein is still down. They're on their back, but
Oh,
no
he's still
longer
down?
laughing.
Okay. I'm gonna cast Hunter's Mark again
Okay.
and make some attacks.
And this with you with advantage.
Okay, 23 to hit.
That hits. You get the extra D6 on there.
I'm just gonna place here 8.
Do it. 8 total.
Hold on. I gotta also do. I'll use the Gathered Swarm to do an extra D6 on top. There'll be 11 points of damage.
All right.
Second attack. 26 to hit.
Yep.
All right, 12 points of damage.
Wow, nice. A couple big hits on Hussein, and as you're hitting them, they're sort of like initially coming out of this laugh and like, it's not funny. It's not funny. Ow! Stop that! He's poking at you with the trident. All right. Anything else?
That is it.
All right, Ichabod, you are up. You've just been blasted this hole through your body's freezing up, but you see your sister coming up on deck. What do you do?
I am going to cast Enemies Abound
Ooh.
on this guy. He has to pass a DC 14 intelligence test or check, right? Saving throw. If he's immune to being frightened, it just doesn't work. But otherwise, he has to make that roll.
Nope. No immunity. So we'll just do a plain old roll and
Jesus!
21.
These DM dice have got to go. Hey, hey, ho.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I should roll my physical dice. They're getting me much more trouble in my other games.
All right, well, then I'm going to bonus action unsettling words on him. He's within 60 feet. The creature must subtract the number rolled from the next saving throw it makes before the start of your next turn. So
Nice.
if anyone does any nonsense to him, he has to subtract it.
Okay. I would let you do that in reverse order, but I feel like A wouldn't help you anyways, and also you can't do it, so.
No.
Okay, cool. Fair enough. So anything else? You're going to move? Are you going to do any other bonus actions or anything? Or you have a bonus? You use your bonus action.
Yeah, use bonus. I guess I'll move. I'll just kind of move over here.
Okay. The stain is going to stand up. And what is the stain going to do? Stain's in trouble. Stain is they can hold their breath for a really long time. So it's going to go after you, Zeph, and they're going to go after you with the trident. 2 strikes. So the first one is going to be a 19.
It's
Oh, didn't think it was going to hit. And then a 12. So I know that one's not going to hit. So they stand up and just kind of poking at you, get you. So 11 points. Say, see, I told you it wasn't funny. And then tries to poke again, and the Umber Hulk grabs the trident. And then that will bring us to the golem.
I lost
So the
Hunter's Mark
golem.
again.
What's that?
I lost Hunter's Mark again.
Oh, are you kidding me? I've never. You have. Like, that's such bad luck. Oh my gosh. Okay. That's why you should always poke the spellcaster. Because
Yep.
you just never know. You might kick that concentration off. So this golem is actually going to step away out of range. You may attack if you want as a reaction. The Umber Hulk is going to attack blindly. Just swing. So there's a little bit of damage there.
23 to hit.
That hits.
Oh, got a raid coming in.
Oh, nice. Thank you for the raid. Goodman Games official.
10 points of damage.
10 points. That's that's a pretty healthy hit.
Enjoy the TPK.
No. I don't think TPK is happening. So I need to double check something with this Umber Hulk. This is causing me problems. So when a creature starts to turn within 30 feet of the Umber Hulk and is able to see the Umber Hulk's eyes, the Umber Hulk can magically force it to make a DC 15. So I guess I need to be doing that even if they're not attacking the Umber Hulk, right?
Yeah.
I need to be killing
If
this. I
they
need to
can
kill
see
the
its
Umber Hulk.
eyes.
Oh no, Teddy's our friend.
Yeah, so I guess.
Theodore does not appreciate you.
So does that? So then I guess my thoughts are, if my take on this would be that the Umber Hulk's eyes are not 360, so there'd be sort of maybe like a cone effect. Maybe is that fair?
That's fair.
I mean, how do you all run in as DMs? Do you run
He's
as
just constantly
360?
swiveling his head all the time.
I've always made
Anyways.
it that it's everybody just because of how large the creature is and how big its eyes are. You know,
Fair
it's-
enough. Fair enough. All right. So it makes a saving throw, and nothing happens if it makes a saving throw, right? Okay.
I don't know anything about Umber Hulk.
Yeah.
Yeah,
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 neither.
sorry,
You'll have one on
I'm
your
not
team.
telling-
You keep, like, looking it
Well,
up.
that
Nothing
is all I
happens.
know.
I know that
Alright.
I imagine they make a sound like the Hypnotoad from Futurama.
Yeah. So it's gonna nuke the Umber Hulk with this chromatic bolt. Come on, big money.
No.
25. I think that hits. Yeah. And so it's going to choose cold damage again. And so 30 points just streak across in this icy blast and strike into the Umber Hulk. Let me just double check. It doesn't have any ice resistance. Does not. It rears back a bit. It lets go of the trident. And then it is on to Teddy's turn. So Teddy is going to turn around and go ape shit on Hastane. So it is. I was gonna say it starts to tunnel into the ship. So it's just gonna take two claw attacks and a bite attack. Boop, boop. And then here we go. Oh. So that's one successful hit. And the mandible also successful. So it'll actually bite. It bites into Hussein and just like, wait a minute, what?
Yeah, I like
Mandible did
that.
21 points of damage. Holy shit. Okay. Yeah, I didn't realize it had that kind of biting power. My God.
Yeah, it wasn't nice to us when we fought it.
No, it was pretty nasty.
So it just bites into Hussein's shoulder and blood just out like this multicolored sort of inky blood just shoots into the air and coats the clothing. And you can see Hussein was sort of like a bit cocky and all of a sudden just like, whoa, this big blow just changes everything. Okay. And then Commodore Crux is going to throw a grenade. So he's like, don't worry. He bites this like gigantic like thing off his hulking grenade and he's going to fling it. So we'll throw no. All right. I don't want to like kill Teddy or anything, but I feel like Commander Crux might just throw it without thinking about Teddy.
Then he will have to contend with me.
Yeah, right. Where is he gonna throw it then? He's just gonna throw it. He's gonna throw it. Oh God, why did I do this? Okay.
I was gonna say, I don't know if there's a good place for him to throw it right now.
Yeah. So he's gonna chuck it right there, and I promise I'm not trying to kill Teddy. I just think he
Sure.
would foolishly throw his
Pretty
grenade.
sure you just said you wanted to kill Teddy. Rewind the footage.
All right,
Roll that
that's dexterity
beautiful
saving
beat,
throw from everybody that's in this blast radius, and
Come on,
they will
Teddy.
take
Come on,
half
Teddy.
damage, I think. Okay, cool. A roll of 4. Okay, there we go. Okay, good job. So then the damage is going to be 18 points of damage to everyone who rolled below a 15. So that's going to be the golem. Takes how much? I say 18.
18.
Teddy.
Theodore.
Theodore. Wrong. He just reacts like very poorly to this situation. And then the Rygar. And then we're gonna roll a d6 to see if he's got another grenade hidden in his pocket. And he does. All right. Cool. So that is, and then he does that, and then he's gonna run up. He's like, "I will take control of this ship." And he starts to fumble for another grenade.
Oh no, Teddy, move out of grenade range.
Yeah. And then Koraz.
All right, so I think I'm probably another 30 feet from the stairs there, so I will
Yeah.
go to there.
What was your
'Cause
action last turn?
I healed myself and I moved 30. You said it was going to be 60 feet to get upstairs, right?
Yeah, but if you healed, you could have done. You did a healing word, right?
Yeah.
You could have dashed as an action.
Yeah, healing words.
Oh, I thought
bonus
healing.
action.
Oh, is it a bonus action?
Mhm.
Oh.
Yeah. So I mean, for the sake of it being more fun for you to be in part of the combat, I'm gonna say you could dash if you want. If you don't want to, you could hold back. But I think it's totally cool.
Yeah, if I could have dashed last time, then I would be here already right now, right?
Yeah,
So-
exactly.
So yeah, we can do that, and then yeah, because for some reason I thought healing word was an action. So
Yeah, I
and
thought you did
then-
dash, and my brain didn't even like process. So
and then I'm gonna move up to this guy, and I'm going to cast. Oh my gosh, why can't I move?
you may have the arrow, the ruler.
There we
selected.
go. Yep. And then I am going to cast Vampiric Touch at a 3rd level. On this guy.
Nice.
So let's see. I think it's a melee spell attack. So let's give that a shot.
Question for you, Koraz. What do you think the Phlogiston Spectre looks like? Like your character?
What does the
Oh,
character?
no.
Yeah, I definitely missed that one. The flog. What does the I'd like to think that Koraz has never seen the Phlox Inspector. He just knows that the Phlox Inspector's messing with him. But of course, it's the classic Tad Ghostal, kind of look,
Mhm. Yeah, that's what you're seeing right now out of this Rygar, because you are still like hazy from your like panic attack moment, like in your brain sort of fried, and you're just like, it's time, the battle is on, but you unfortunately whiff it right at the last blow.
Yeah, I was thrown by that Tad. I go to hit him with the vampiric touch, and I see Tad looking back at me, and I'm like,
So this Rygar is going to take its turn, and it's going to turn its trident on you. Actually, what's it going to do? It's got to get rid of that. It's got to make its saving throw first. So I think it's going to recognize there's a problem with the Umber Hole. And it won't matter. So it gets frozen by it. Well, you know what? Doesn't there like some rule you can like avert your eyes? This one's been confused already, hasn't it?
You can avert your eyes usually, but then you have to make your attacks at disadvantage.
Yeah, okay. I'm going to say that these creatures have a 19 intelligence. I think this would have figured it out. So I'm going to roll that again as an advantage. Like it's averting its eyes, and it won't. Oh no, okay, cool. It does matter. Okay. But it's going to take a shot at it with this chromatic orb. Chromatic bolt.
I take a attack? I have Sentinel. If he's attacking a different creature than
Yes.
me, I will try to hit it with my staff.
Okay, so I'm going to roll the attack at disadvantage for lots of reasons.
Why do we fight? We fight for the
It's an
booty. Why do
18.
We wait for the booty. Why do we
That
die?
hits.
We die for the booty.
But
Yeah,
do your damage.
Yeah, I don't. Well, I have to see if I even hit it.
You do.
Okay. So
So
some
7
damage.
points. And then for the damage on the chromatic orb, we're going to again do the cold. I'm keeping it thematic. And Teddy gets laced through with this icicle. Just, and like blood is like gooping out everywhere. It's just getting quite gross over next to you, Zeph. There's lots of bleeding happening. And then the golem is going to do the exact same thing. So it's going to make its saving throw with advantage. Is that what it was? Why do I get so confused by Umber Hulk? I feel like I'm being attacked by an Umber Hulk. Does it even need to make a saving throw?
I think you don't make the saving throw, but you make your attacks at disadvantage.
Got it. Okay, good deal.
I think that's it.
Yeah, that makes more sense. Okay, so same exact thing. It's gonna turn around and like robotically just try to take out Teddy. So here comes the chromatic orb. They all feel that if this can be successful, and it's gonna hit Teddy, and again with cold. Uh-oh. And this last bolt shoots through Teddy's chest and just explodes the carapace, and it slumps on the ground. Face down, it's dead. And Placebo, it's your turn.
Okay. I'm going to continue to try to hit the one that I'm standing by. So I'll use my quarterstaff.
Okay. And that's a hit.
Number 26. Do they seem pretty... Okay, this one I want to try to do a stunning strike on. Because this one had been given that unkind word or whatever. So it's a constitution saving throw.
Con, okay.
Yeah, but he should have whatever... I don't remember what you said, David.
Yeah, I'm scrolling up.
It's a
Unsettling word.
-6, right? Yeah. So do I roll the d6 and subtract it? It doesn't matter.
Okay.
Super fails. But I'll roll the d6 in your heart. So it fails. It becomes stunned, right? Just right off, just like that.
Right. Well, yeah. I mean, until the end of my next turn, if it fails.
So
that.
first hit is successful. Stunned.
Okay. So then I will take another hit. This would be at advantage, right? Because it's stunned.
Yep.
Okay. 19?
That'll do.
All right.
Just barely.
Yeah.
So
And
another 8 points.
then I will do Flurry of Blows and do some unarmed strikes. I want to try to make one of them go down. So. Oh, that one's a miss.
That's a miss.
All right. And a 22.
That is a hit.
All right. 11.
People are trying to cheer for potions, probably.
Oh,
Or for wandering encounters, we could have like some scabbers show up, or like.
well,
some
so
of those
far the only
clowns.
thing that went down is one of us, so
That's true.
we
That's
don't
true.
need any more unless they're helpful. There could be a wandering helper.
Yeah, some wandering helpers. 3 more Umber Hulks show up.
Right?
Teddy
So, yeah.
Stamp comes to settle the score.
Yeah. So
Boom,
Starbro
space cop.
is throwing mangonel balls, just flinging them at the ship, and you can see the aesthetic is taking a little bit of damage, and then like a tentacle just whips a branch off of Starbo, and then crashes into the ship, and the edge of the ship is splintering. And Zeph, it's up to you. You're next. You've watched your friend or whatever, Teddy, collapse. Your fellow insect.
Felt a lot better when he was up.
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna keep attacking though here. Do I do Hunter's Mark again? Yes. What else? Well, I guess you. Oh man, there's like. My other thought would be to Fog Cloud here now that Teddy's not around, but that's worth it because it's gonna take an action. So I think I will just use my bonus action, the Hunter's Mark. I'll just do the boring play.
Okay. Maybe this time. Well, you've been hitting them, so it's been good.
No, it's just filling my spell slots. 19 to hit.
That hits.
All right.
This is bad. And again, that Umber Hulk is bit off like a big chunk out of his stain.
All right, 13 points.
Okay.
And a 9 will miss.
9 will miss. Again, just knocks your scimitar away. Anything else?
That is it.
All right, Ichabod, you're up.
Had we decided that Teddy doesn't go unconscious, he just insta dies because he's a Umber Hulk? He's an NPC.
Did I tell you all anything?
I thought we had a brief chat about it when we were negotiating whether he's going to hang out with us and be a party member, but I don't necessarily know that I wrote down the answer. But my memory seems to be that was kind of the condition, is that we get him, but he's like a monster. He's not.
Yeah, I think he's a monster. I mean, if I said the opposite, we can come back. Maybe I'll let y'all have like a parting moment with him, but I think he's dead.
All right. I just didn't know if I was going to bonus action healing word him or not. So if that's not on the table,
I think it's on the table.
I will cast Bane on up to 3 creatures within 30 feet. So it's going to be this guy, and this guy. I have to make a saving throw.
Okay. Oh, you got the spell up? Okay.
Yeah.
So first we'll do his stain. Stain fails in his Bane. I'm assuming 12 fails, right? Yeah.
It does. Yeah, he has to hit 14.
Man, charisma is really good on these suckers.
A lot of things are good on these guys.
Yeah.
So this one over here, I think. The one that's paralyzed?
Yeah, this one as well.
Okay.
The real Rygar.
And then
the duplicate of the golem of
Got it.
Stain.
Okay. I realize I've actually been not applying some of the damage that these creatures have. The real ones get a bonus to their trident attacks, but it's fine.
I think they've been doing mostly the chromatic orb, to be honest.
They have. That's true. Yeah. So those two succeed. I think that they just straight up succeed, right?
Yep.
Okay,
Yeah, I don't
cool.
think it's only a level 1 spell, so it doesn't have any effect, but the other guy has to subtract a d4
Got it.
from attack rolls or a saving throw before the spell ends, so he's a little bit baned.
Okay.
Disdain,
Uh,
disdain.
Disdain Bane.
Disdain the disdained is baned. And then as my bonus action, I'm gonna absorb the treat. Alex had mentioned in chat that he had made us some treats. So Ichabod just kind of shoves it in his face and it dissolves and he gets 3 temporary hit points.
Nice. That's good. That could have made the difference. You got almost one-shotted.
Yeah.
So don't look down on those 2, 3, 4, 5 hit points. It's good. So
So
it's Sustain's turn. Oh, question?
chat says that they redeemed a wandering encounter.
Have they though?
I
Has this
don't.
happened?
I don't know. This is my father doing this, and
Thanks.
somehow whenever he does these things, like it's never in the log, so I don't know exactly what's going on. But he says the item is on cooldown, so it must have gone through. So I don't know. We'll figure out what's going on with the stream elements, but it sounds like that's the intention.
Okay. So we're gonna have a little moment here. The blood is in the air, and as you are kind of like going with the, having this big fight and all this, blood is flying everywhere, some scavers show up. So you see these fish that fly through, and I apologize for the art, just being some random guys, but they, a pack of scavers are going to join the fight. And they come swooping in onto Commander Crux. And we'll add them to initiative. And boop, 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 boop. And we'll pick up with the Stain. Right when this happens, the Stain says, well, oh yeah, what a fitting opportunity to wrap this up. And they start to cast a spell. Any spell people want to stop that from happening?
I do not have that ability.
The Stain casts Dimension Door. Poof. And they are gone. But the golem is left behind. And the golem is going to turn around and going to continue the killing spree. It's going to open up a chromatic bolt on Zeph. I hope those scavers aren't really hard. I just grabbed a bunch of them. They're probably not that hard. That's fine. So 24 as I hit you.
It sure does.
We're gonna say this one is poison. Well, you know what? That's like the worst choice. We're gonna say this one's fire. You resistant to fire? Okay. So the blast comes through, just shoots across, hits you for 23 damage.
I have lost my hunters.
I will noted. So you have the sense of a stain sort of lingering in the area, and it's gone.
Is it the remix? I feel like I've heard I've lost the hunter's mark a couple times.
Yeah, 4 times.
Same as it ever was. Ugh.
Wow.
I've lost my hunter's mark.
So one of the scavers swoops in, and we're going to give it. We're actually going to take the 2 that joined initiative at the top, just because I think they're not going to get any turns here in a second. They swarm in on Crux, and they just start to like bite at him. We'll pull them up here for the sake of making this interesting. And they take a little bite. Here's bite number 1. Uh-oh, there's a dog barking. Bite number 2. And they both miss Crux, I think. Yeah, barely. Oh my god. Okay. And then Crux is up in initiative, and he fumbles for the grenade. He's like, scavers! And he bites it, and he's going to chuck the grenade at the scavers. And we're going to use the ability, and he's going to chuck it right there. So these 3 scavers, I think, are just going to instant die, but let's just see what the damage is before I make any rolls. So 15 points, so it's not going to kill anything, so that's not good. Okay, Let's just go ahead and see if they saved. Oh man, I was hoping to have shark bits everywhere.
Chet has redeemed the DM a reroll.
All right, I'm not gonna waste it on the scavers, so I don't care. They all, the first one's gonna take, what did I say, is 15 points? 15.
Yeah, it was 15 force damage.
Okay, and then this one takes 8. And this one takes 15. Okay, cool. So it explodes, and these 3 scavers get caught in the explosion. They wheel and sort of like, because they're like these flying fish, basically. These flying sharks. And they look agitated. But they smell the blood. Koraz, you're up.
Yeah, I think Koraz is gonna give this Vampiric touch it one more try here. Let's see if it hits this guy right here.
Okay.
Probably not.
Oh, it was almost a crit. No, it will miss. That is too bad. So you reach out with your vampiric energy, and your brain's starting to, like, you know, kind of clear, and you realize you're just on this deck with all these weird, very like angelic looking octopus people and a bunch of sharks, and it's like, what the fuck's happening? And you miss.
It's always a
Anything
good
else?
time to come to in the middle of battle. Yeah, I think that's it. That's all I got.
So the Rygar is stunned, but the Golem is not, and the Golem is going to see you trying to, like, gonna see you trying to bite or like steal it. So you're like swiping at it multiple times. It just sort of like calmly sniped the Teddy through the chest with the ice, and then it's just gonna turn around robotically with the trident and just spin it and drop it on you a couple times. So the first trident swing is a hit. Not even gonna bother you by asking. And the damage is going to be for 5. Still up?
Is this hitting me?
It's hitting you. Yeah, I'm sorry. Sorry, Koraz.
If it's 5, yeah, I'm up.
Okay, and then second swing is going to come around. This time is a 16. Does that hit?
Yes.
Okay, so here comes the attack, or the damage, and this will be 7.
I'm down.
Oh, dang. Okay. And as soon as it drops you, it's just going to step up and right next to its duplicate, or its, owner, I guess, so to speak, and just put it right up against you, Placebo. And then it is the Scavers, and they're going to start doing stuff. So we're going to go to the one that's right here next to Crux.
Just
and
so
it
you know, you got a second DM reroll from the chat.
Oh my god, I got rerolls. Why are y'all buying me stuff?
Because they can smell blood in the water.
Yes, they want it. I think they want us dead.
All right, well, I'll save it for another chromatic orb or burst or whatever the heck. So the Scaver's gonna take a bite out of Crux, and it's going to succeed, and it's just gonna like tear a little bit off of him. It's just like, oh no, it's gonna tear a big bit off of him. Crux. Okay, he's okay. So you bite, it bites his arm and just like rips this flesh. He's like, whoa, and you can see him rearing back from the shark. And then we'll get the next Scaver. This one is going to come flying over to you, and it is going to take a bite out of you, Ichabod. And same situation. Here comes the bite, and you'll take 17 is a hit.
That's a hit.
That's a hit. You can smell the blood, smell the goo, and you'll take 6 points of damage.
I have 2 because
because you ate
because
the
I
food.
took. Yeah, otherwise I'd be down.
Oh man, it's so classic.
Chat has redeemed by everyone a reroll, so
hooray! Everyone, you get a reroll. Save it up. You need it.
Huzzah!
Right. Huzzah! Placebo, it's your turn.
All right. Well, I want to try to hit the stunned person with my quarterstaff because he's still stunned until the end of my turn. So
Wise.
I will do that.
DM, do you want me to make a concentration saving throw on my bane on the creature that's not even in battle anymore?
No, it's fine. So that will hit.
All right. For 9.
9.
And
Yeah,
then-
so you crack this guy across the face and octopus blood everywhere.
All right. I will use my extra attack and try to do it again.
That one's a miss.
All right.
You do have a reroll. Everyone
Yeah.
has one.
Well, I'll
We can-
re-roll it because it's an attack at advantage, so
That's
I'll
smart.
use my re-roll.
So you had 4 rerolls. We're down to 3, and that
Is it
hits
19? Okay.
just barely.
Yeah. For 7. And
Okay.
then I do want to use a bonus action to do my flurry of blows, but I believe I can use in 1 blow and 1 healing hand. When you use your flurry of blows, you can replace one of the unarmed strikes without spending a key point for healing. So I will
Nice.
blow the. No, I won't. I will hit the guy in front of me and then heal my friend. So I'll try the unarmed strike first.
Go for
Sorry.
it. Oh, it's a crit. That's what
Ah.
you're fishing for with that.
Yeah, trying. All right, so 9 bludgeoning, and then it won't be much, but I'll use the hand of healing, and it'll say damage again, but it's not damage. I promise.
Koraz, you're
For
dead.
3,
3 healing.
Nice.
and then he's no longer stunned.
All right.
Yeah.
Yeah. So then the scaver is going to come in and it's going to again sense blood with placebo. I mean, not with Ichabod. I'm so sorry. I don't know why. It's like my own kids. So comes rushing in and just takes a bite at you. Your other gooey arm.
Wait a minute, I just missed that. You call your kids the wrong
Yeah, no, I do. I try not to. It's really hard. I've got a lot of them.
What I heard is that his kids are plasmoid.
So I am. You're in pretty bad shape, right, Placebo?
Yeah,
Ichabod?
I have
I'm
2.
gonna use a reroll. Let's do it. Let's get the knockout. 14.
14 is my armor class, so you met it.
Oh, here we go. 11.
Down.
That's a big hit.
Yep, I'm down.
All right, you're down. So Koraz, you're up now because you were healed, right?
Yes.
Okay. So then, little top hat on his face. Sorry, I don't know why I find that endearing. So the scaver's gonna do that, and then it's going to hang out there, and then Starborough gets a big branch just like cut off, like whipped off with one of these tentacles, and he goes, "Oh, that will take a long time to grow. Fuck you!" And he'll throw a mangonel at him. And so they have this big battle. They keep going, and then it's back to the scabbers. And these scabbers they're gonna start to surround Crux. And they're just biting into him. Like imagine like a giant hippo man with like these sharks like gnawing at his arms and stuff. That's what's happening. So this person's gonna take a bite. It will hit. It will do a whopping 5 points of damage. And he's like, "Don't worry about me. Worry about the ship. We have to repel these people."
I'm
And
not
then-
even entirely sure we're going to survive this.
I've faced worse. And he will also get get another bite go through, and the scaver will do 4 points of damage to Crux, and Crux is just getting like just ripped to shreds. But oops, I messed up his hit points. There we go. Okay, cool. And then it is Zeph. It's your turn.
All right, I think this is Hail Mary time. I'm gonna drop my scimitars and pull out my bow. And I'm gonna take a shot at this one.
Oh yeah, Mr. Flinch is hanging out. He's like countering.
Are you kidding? Is a 14 hit? Oh, I've got a reroll, don't I?
You have a reroll, so 14 does not hit.
I'm gonna use it. Okay, 24 to hit,
Oh yeah, that hits.
and I could roll some damage, but really what I'm trying to do is I'm gonna use my children. It's time for them to step up here, try to push him off the deck here. He needs to make a strength saving throw.
All right. So is there any damage that happens?
There, as I can roll it.
Sure. Just to be on the safe side, one way or the other.
9 points of damage.
So take 9. It rolled a
Damn it.
20.
That's not what
Is
I
that
wanted.
Son of a bitch.
Yeah.
Okay.
so? The little your babies ride the arrow, and they're like pushing, but they just can't get over the ridge. It's like they're pushing at his legs and just up against the wall.
Of the two of these, which one looks worse off?
Definitely the one that Robyn has been beating the shit out of. So this
The
one
top
over here.
one. Yeah.
Top one?
Yeah.
Okay, I'm gonna take my second shot at that one.
Okay.
That one's a crit.
That hits, and that may be a momentous hit.
10 points.
Not momentous enough. But that one is looking rough.
I'm gonna get over here to Koraz. And Ryan, did you use that little snacky snack I gave you?
I did not. No.
Can I find it and shove it in his mouth?
Give me an investigation check.
Well, Koraz is up. Ichabod's the one that's down.
Oh, Koraz is up. I thought. He was-
Yeah, I
okay.
got him up,
Ichabod's
Okay.
down.
but
Yeah.
Ichabod's down.
Ichabod did use his food.
Shit.
Yeah.
Yep.
You may not know that though, so it's your. It's all right. You probably would have
chef's
seen him. You'd be
senses
like,
are
it's
tingling.
delicious.
You can still see it dissolving in his face.
Oh,
Oh man.
The
Dang.
scabbers.
Yeah. Okay. I screwed this up.
Okay.
I'll just. I guess I'll use my bonus action to. I should have done this. I'll put the hunter's mark on.
The one you shot at.
Actually, you know what? Do I even have a hunter's mark? I've lost it 4 times, right? I don't have one. Forget it. Just pass my turn. I don't know what's going on.
It's okay. All right. The chat did award a healing potion. It looks like the one who sent the scabbers after you has awarded you a healing potion. All right, Ichabod,
Good
death
enough.
saving
Wait a
throw.
minute.
Oh,
Then can we give it to Zeph, and can he get over there with his bonus action?
No,
it's an action.
yeah,
healing potion.
I was. That's what I was
Okay.
hoping for the little snack thing, because that one says
Yeah,
it's a bonus action.
Yeah. You should have held on your snack. All right, Ichabod, you need a death saving throw. It'd be good to make
Oh.
it. You may want to re-roll.
Yeah, I guess I don't know if scabbers will continue to peck at a downed plasmoid, but maybe. I mean, if I pop back up with a nat 20, they're just gonna knock me down again anyway.
Yeah, but yeah, I got. Well, you're the controller of the character, so you can make your decision.
Oh no.
But oh no. All right, so we need to make sure this is tracked correctly. It counted as 2.
Right.
That's actually just 1 fail. Okay. Okay. It's very bad that there are scavers there. I will end the conversation there, and that'll bring us to the Rygar Golem. And it's starting to look like that y'all are in trouble. The Golem though has no sense of self-preservation, and it's just going to shoot at you, Zeph. Here we go.
That's
Chromatic
what I
orb.
do.
That's right. That's right. As Zeph or as the DM?
Both
20
hits.
hits. This is gonna be fire again.
Yeah, I've got 5 hit points, so you got as many dice as I have hit points.
That's never good. So
Down.
you drop. And we will go to Crux. Crux is going to see the situation, and he didn't roll to see if he had another grenade. Let's roll to see if he has a grenade.
I don't know if we want him to have it.
That's right. It may be bad if he has. He is going to. This is what he's gonna do. He sees Ichabod surrounded by scavers. He is a seasoned person. He is going to run through this little opening space and take all the opportunity attacks to jump on your body, Ichabod. And so he'll take a bunch of opportunity attacks. We'll just run these scavers. Here comes bite. I'll just roll it all off with these guys. Miss, hit, and hit. Good God, these scavers are rolling like hot.
Man.
So damage, they will do another 10 points to not Ichabod. Hold on. How do I get to the other one? Damn it. I can't get to him anymore. Hold on. Scooched you out of the way. So he'll take 10 points. He's looking okay. He's still up. He's definitely way better shape than you, Ichabod. So he's jumped on top of you. And as an action, he's going to throw the grenade. And he's going to throw the grenade, hopefully in a way that is helpful. We're going to find out. Definitely not in a way that's going to kill you. I'll just put it that way. But he might have to he's going to toss it just like that. All right. So we're going to do some saving throws. You know, this is important which ones save, so I'm going to run them individually. So the first one is going to roll and will fail. This one is going to roll and fail. This one will roll and fail. And then this one will roll and succeed. So here's the actual damage. These sharks, these scavers, an explosion of goo and gunk. And this Rygar was just basically reeling from this arrow to the chest, gets hit back by the explosion and splits in half, and just falls down on the ground dead. And that will bring us to the scavers. And these scavers are going to go to town on Crux. Okay. So, I feel a little guilty that, I killed Teddy with a grenade now. I thought Teddy was going to make it. But here comes the bites from the two scavers that are chomping on Crux. Those will all hit. 18 damage. Crux is up. So he's a big boy, but he's getting chewed up while he's laying on top of you, Placebo. I mean, Ichabod. My God, I keep doing that forever.
No, I am Placebo, but
you are Placebo.
That is okay.
And Placebo, you are up. It's your turn.
And the chat has bought another healing potion. I don't know if that really helps us much in our current predicament.
Yeah. You need another wandering encounter. This is gonna be this is gonna be the entire session today. We're gonna have a TPK. All right, so Placebo, you're up.
All right.
Actually, I'm sorry, Placebo. You are not. I deleted the dude.
Oh, okay.
But this Rygar actually gets the next turn. I'm sorry, I forgot about that. Let me just make sure they don't stop operating when their person's killed.
That was my hope by killing the first one, but it was at least an idea.
Strangely not on their character sheet. Do they even have this ability, or did I just make this up? No, they have that ability. They can do it every short rest. Wow. Duplicate takes his turn immediately. They advantage after 1 hour or wins for just 0 points. I need a ruling. It takes commands, but its commander just got killed. How would you all think about that? Do you think this thing stops moving?
Yes.
Or do you think it's command? I'll tell you what. I'm gonna roll a D100. If it's a we're gonna set a suitable number. We're gonna say if it's a 30. We'll say I'm gonna put the DC of 73. And so if it's over 73, it stops moving. This is my made up mechanic. Okay, it's going to keep going. And so it's going to go ahead and turn around to you, Placebo. And it's just going to attack you with its trident. But it's sort of mindless. You can tell that it doesn't really have any, clear direction anymore. It's just sort of swinging. And almost rolled a crit.
Will
15?
miss. It misses.
And then the second one turned, again, just kind of blindly swinging at you. 20?
That will hit.
All right, so get the hit. This will just be regular 10 points of damage.
All right.
That's all.
That's it. That's all. Just 10.
Well,
Just 10.
that's the first time I was hit, so.
Wow,
Whoa.
really?
I'm still, yeah.
That's
Zeph,
insane. That's awesome.
I need a death saving throw.
Wait, I didn't get my turn.
Oh, you didn't get your turn. Yeah, you get your turn. Placebo, do some
And-
stuff.
I don't think Zeph is down anymore, is he? Oh, Zeph. I'm sorry. Yes. Okay. Sorry. I was getting the two, the two mantis men
We're both
confused.
bugs.
Okay. Okay. I'm going to risk an attack of opportunity and run over to my brother.
Okay. Yeah, you'll take one, or it'll take one at you. Again, kind of just mindlessly, like almost like an automaton, just swinging at anything, and it misses. Crit fail.
All right. I am going to make attacks on these scavers. Well,
Okay.
I can bonus action shove my treat into his goo that I had because, right?
I suppose.
I did not use my goo or my
I will
treat.
allow that
so-
because it makes the feat pretty useful in a combat scenario, which is
And
a heavy
if I
combat.
can't do that, I still have a
Nah,
key
do it,
point
do
that
it.
I could use.
You're
But
probably supposed to be able to do that anyway. Shove it in his mouth. Just put it in his goo.
I will give him the three temporary hit points, and then I want to try to attack. I'll just go for one of the scavers.
Okay, we got a natural 20 death saving throw. I think that's going to turn the tide. We will see. So go ahead and attack the scavers. That
The
will
top
hit
one.
probably because I think they have almost no AC.
What,
So-
did Cliff just come in here and spread mayhem?
They spread mayhem. Yeah, you just crack this thing in the head and it just basically splits in half. Just
And then I will do my second attack on the bottom one.
okay,
1, 4, 8.
still up.
Okay. I used my bonus action already, so that is all I can do.
So did you actually feed him?
Yes.
All right. So Ichabod, you are no longer unconscious. You now have 3 hit points. 3 temporary hit points. Does that work that way?
If you'd rather me use, I can use my key point and do an unarmed strike with a healing hand.
Well,
if that
I mean,
works better.
I think a hit point's a hit point. It just is kind of weird to have 0 hit points and 3 temporary, but I mean,
It's just
Yeah,
that when
but the
the
intention
temporary
of-
hit points run out, you'll drop.
Yeah, I think the intention of temporary hit points is that they're hit points that go away. So if that's the logic, I think you're right, Ryan. It would be you're up, but when they wear off, you pass out and start taking death saving throws. So,
right.
okay, so we'll count that. That's how we'll rule that because I think it's going to come up a lot in this campaign.
All
right.
right, we are
So
definitely
now
gonna
it is
cast.
Zeph.
Oh, sorry. Yeah, he's got to take his throw.
He's got his turn now. Zeph,
I'm gonna
there was a
use,
natural 20 death saving throw.
I want it.
So you get it, and I'll play it with the rules that we play with in community. You have 1 hit point to start.
All right, I'm gonna stand up.
Okay, that's half. Oof, these golems are pretty healthy looking.
I'm just gonna try again. I think I'd take a shot at that one to try to come loose.
While you're doing that, Starbow has another branch just ripped off, and the ship gets another crack.
21 to hit.
21 to hit, that hits.
All right, it's 9 points of damage and then a strength saving throw.
Okay. So 9 points and then strength saving throw. These fellows are actually fairly strong. 12?
We got him.
Okay.
Nice
Dale?
job,
You
kid.
got him? Okay. Does he get shoved off? What happened?
Yeah, it's 15 feet.
So, you get shoved off, and it's like that episode of The Simpsons where the Treehouse of Horror, where Bill Clinton gets shot into space. You remember that episode? Anyone seen it? Never mind. So he just starts like spinning off into the distance.
Second shot, I guess, at this one.
Yeah, go for it. And I realize how many rounds have we had? We've had 5. I need to do something while you're doing that.
That'll miss.
Okay,
Uh-oh.
that's okay. That may actually be okay. Let me double check something real quick. Are you moving at all?
I'll just move back here.
Okay, cool. No, that roll is good for y'all. Okay. And then that'll bring us to Ichabod. Ichabod, you are now healthy. There's a scaver. It is biting Crux, and you're crushed under Crux. So I'm going to say you have
Healthy
half movement and rough terrain.
Yeah, healthy's maybe an exaggeration, but I'm not dying, so that's a blessing. All right. Well, since I have healing words and spell slots, I think I'm probably going to try to get myself as high as I can so I can help people pop back up if they need to. So I'm going to do bonus action healing word. I thought I could upcast that. Did I miss that?
If you have extra spell slots, you can. Usually what you can do is when you pick it, you can
Here we
choose
go.
which
I
spell.
missed it. All right, so I'm going to use level 3 healing word on myself. To get 9
Nice.
more. All right, and then so I have 9, and then the 3 temporary. And then so as my action, I will use cantrip. I'll do vicious mockery on this guy down there, the one who's not floating into space.
Okay, got it. Zoop. Wisdom.
You gotta do a wisdom.
And fail. What happens?
You take some damage, 5 psychic,
Okay.
and you have disadvantage on the next attack roll it makes before the end of its next turn.
Very good.
But
So-
I'm gonna kind of not go out of his attack range, but at least not be stood upon by a hippo man.
So great. And so this Stain's Golem is like floating out, and it is going to, like, as it's spinning, when it gets a line of sight on, let's see, who's it gonna? I mean, it can see Crux the best. It's just gonna fling a bolt at Crux. And I'm gonna say this with disadvantage because it's flying through the air. Ooh, that's not good, Crux. It'll be cold damage, or it'll be fire damage. And Crux takes 30 points. Crux goes down. Now, Crux, I'm gonna rule
Very
is
difficult.
I'm gonna rule that Crux is like a traditional NPC or like a story NPC, and that he's down, but he in 3 turns he dies. He auto fails, but he will have his C3 saving throws because he is not Umber Hulk. He's gonna not be feeling good in the morning. And then the other golem is going to not have it's not gonna have a turn yet. Crux is though. Crux auto fails a death saving throw. Koraz, you're up.
Okay, so
And we'll say this
got-
guy floats 15 feet more.
So I'm going to disengage from this guy,
Okay. As an
and
action.
yep,
Okay.
and I'm going to get the hell away from them. And I'm gonna go hide behind these boats over here.
The chat corrected me by saying that golem would be falling towards the bottom of the ship. That's where the plane of gravity is. I still don't understand Spelljammer physics, so I'm gonna say that still happened, but the dude is like sort of like out of sight now. The one that was falling off the edge. But yeah, you're good there, Koraz. Anything else?
I think as a. Or how far did it? Hang on, I'll move 30. I dashed. I guess. Or no, No, I can't dash because I used an action too. So I'll move there. 30 feet from there, and then yeah, I think that's it. That's it for now. I'm just getting away from them for now, so I can try to do something without dying the immediate next turn.
Yeah. So the remaining Rygar is, it is mindless, and it is just going to stalk towards you. And it's not using its chromatic orb. It just has its trident, and it's just going to start to swing at you again like an automaton. And this one has disadvantage or something from the vicious mockery. Is that right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yes.
So that's good. You avoided the crit. Does a 10 miss?
Yeah.
All right, then here comes the regular attack. And this one's a 17.
That hits.
Oh no. 9 points.
Yep. I'm back down.
Oh, damn.
Third time's the charm, huh?
Yeah.
You all have like brain damage at this
I guess
point.
the idea of trying to get away from it was not a good idea.
It's okay. I was going to move him to the closest creature, whatever it was. It just happened to be you still, just barely. So then, Placebo, it's your turn. There is a scaver that is gnawing on Crux.
Yes, I do see that. All right. I'm just trying to get a sense of how these features all can work together, because it's, yeah, really difficult. Like if I use the Hand of Healing as part of a flurry of blows, it's a bonus action, but otherwise it's an action. So that is weird. But all right, I'm going to try to hit the scaver, I guess.
Okay.
With just
You're
my
swinging
attack.
at the scaver.
Yeah.
That will hit and almost assuredly kill it. It super kills it.
All right.
And you put down the last of this wandering party of this wandering encounter of some kind.
And I do have another attack. Can I move in between the attacks?
Yes, if you can make the movement, yep. That's
Yeah,
what
I have
rolled it is.
45 feet, so I'll go over here and try to hit the other one. All right. Well, maybe Ichabod can help. Commodore or whatever his name is. All right.
That hits. 27.
Okay. For 7 bludgeoning. And I will use my last key point to do flurry of blows. I'll do 1 unarmed strike and 1 healing hand on Koraz. So
Got it.
I feel like we've been here before, but I'll start with the unarmed strike.
Like playing chess. You got all the moves all worked out.
I feel like the
Oh,
pseudo
man.
pad just like sneaks out and does a healing touch while you're smacking the enemy around.
Yep, 11
So,
points.
11
So this golem is starting to look a little bit worn down, and it's kind of just going slower and slower.
Let's see what you get. Oh,
Look
there
at
you
that.
go.
Hey,
6
that's the
points
most
of
hit points I've
damage.
had in a while.
Yeah, you're feeling like, nice.
I do feel a little guilty. I still have 50. I would give you more if I could. So.
Boo. Okay. So the aesthetic again rips another piece of Starbow off, and Starbow is looking pretty unhealthy right now. And the ship is getting pretty damaged, but it is holding together. Oops, Zeph, it's your turn. You're up with your little 1 hit point.
Oh. Okay.
Your children are like whispering to you, "Daddy, is everything okay? It's gonna be
No.
all right."
I'm gonna need you to get me a beer from the fridge and this is over. I'm gonna take a shot at this one here. Uh, 21 to hit.
Yep. That is.
That will be, I'll use the hive ability on that, so 13 points of damage.
Nice. 13. You hit the arrow, and your little babies are like digging in, and it jerks. You see a little light flicking out of its eyes.
All right, second shot is a 19 to hit,
Yep, just barely.
and that'll be 12 points of damage.
Second arrow hits, and the Rygar, it's holding its trident. It's pointing at Koraz. It's starting to slow down. Ichabod.
All right, we'll use my last first level spell slot to healing word Crux here. So he's at 7.
7. That's nice.
And then I will again use Vicious Mockery on the remaining enemy on the screen.
Okay.
Has to beat a DC 14 Wisdom saving throw.
All right. So let's see if it makes it happen. It will.
All right. Take a
And
step back.
then Crux gets a turn, and Crux is going to fish around in his pocket for
No.
another grenade. And he does not have one. He's out
Oh,
of grenades.
Thank God.
No more.
He's like, or we have to go down with the ship. No, he's like, no, he wouldn't say that. He's like,
Let's not do that.
we'll take them out whether we make it or not. And so he will roll over and he'll pull out his musket and he will take a shot from prone position at the Rygar.
I will like stretch up so that I don't get.
And it just goes right between your legs, but over the Rygar's head and misses. And actually gets 2 musket attacks. He's a fast musket loader. Second shot. Oh, miss. Almost no chance. And then Koraz, you're up. You're alive.
All right, Koraz is gonna try this Vampire Touch again. Last level 3 spell slot. It's probably gonna miss,
You have a,
You have
do you
a
still have a
reroll.
reroll?
but I got a reroll and I'm gonna use it.
Give
Use
it
it.
a try.
And it probably misses again.
Oh,
Oh, you-
That was 3 third level
Koraz.
spell slots wasted on the same thing.
sorry, you're still figuring it out. That's just not quite. You haven't quite got the handle on it. And then it is the Rygar's turn, and it's going to mindlessly attack first Placebo. And I'm assuming hits.
that does hit.
Okay. You'll take 9 points of damage. And it will then turn around and attack Koraz.
I will try to sentinel attack it as it turns
Sentinel.
to hit my
Go
friend.
for it.
So. Oh, 16.
Little miss.
Wah, wah. Nice try, thank
I
you.
try.
That will hit, I'm
will
assuming,
hit,
21. Unless you got some kind of spell going up. And then that'll be 11 points.
Guess what, guys?
Just skewered you to the
No,
deck.
I cannot help you. I am all out of things to help.
Placebo, you're up.
Oh, I'm going to hit this terrible thing that keeps taking out my friends. And I
It's a
will
hit.
put a lot of my goo into the attack. 8.
You knock its head off. No, it's not a robot, but you hit it really hard and it like almost is gone.
Okay, let's see if I can maybe hit it again.
Hey.
Yeah.
Now I will hit it again.
That's a bit of a flourish.
Yeah,
Just showing
I'm
off.
very mad at him.
How do you finish it off?
Well, I pogo stick with my staff and just like come on down, like pile drive it, and try then kind of push it off away from Koraz. Leave him alone.
All right, and you kick it off into the. Yeah, you're poking into the deck, and you just hear, and it stops moving, goes lifeless. And
I
with
think it is
that,
done.
we will do one more fateful roll. And I can't roll 6 to save my life. The aesthetic was going to do another scream at your ship, but instead it is going to see the battle turn on the deck. The golem floats to the bottom and is like kind of stuck in space, and a tentacle will reach out and grab the golem and actually just crush it. so it's just dead. And then the aesthetic is going to turn around and leave. It's just going to turn and just be like, the point's been made. It's going to fly off. And so you are on a damaged ship. Starbo is wheezing. Everyone is beat up and hurt. Crux is barely alive. Koraz is currently unconscious. I guess, is there anything anyone can do for Koraz before he's doing rolls?
Casts healing word at
Do we have
level 2.
Two healing potions.
Yes, there were 2 healing potions that were
Yeah.
discovered in the fight.
But we can keep those for another day, right? Like
That's true. So the golems, we'll
yeah.
say that the 2 Rygar golems had them, and they dropped them.
All right. Yeah, I'm
Or we'll say the
healing
Rygar
word
had 'em.
level 2, second level on Koraz.
Thank you.
All right. And yeah, y'all can add those 2 potions to your inventory. Whoever wants them. We'll say Ichabod and Zeph have them.
I think it probably makes sense for those who don't. Well, definitely give one to Zeph because he doesn't really have any healing abilities.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So I don't know whoever wants the other one.
I'll take it. I get 1 healing word from my.
Okay. Yeah,
I
that
think
sounds
so.
smart.
Yeah.
Potion to the bug boys.
All right, so you get some healing to Koraz.
Yeah, he just needs. Well, I guess I can click it. Yoink, normal. 6 healing.
All right.
Nice. You're no longer unconscious. So, aftermath of the battle, you see Teddy is just collapsed in a pile. All his mandible bits and Umber Hulk arms are kind of just like almost like dislocated from his body. His eyes are his like glamorous, beautiful eyes are fading out, just flickering. If you look closely, you get a little mist of, you still get a little the effect happens, but then it goes away.
Theodore, no!
Ichabod takes off his top hat and kind of cradles it to his chest and kind of under his breath says, "This is what becomes of our allies."
I think I understood him. I think he said goodbye.
Crux will come up. And, go ahead, Koraz.
Yeah, that was a rough one. I just I feel like that was tough. Koraz is probably like feeling a little bit of the wind from his spell jamming helm sails pulled out from him. He's a little nervous about getting back in that big chair now.
It's okay, Koraz. I will sit by you again. And that way, if the scream causes your brain to explode, I will help you again.
I could actually instant kill him at this point if it happens again. Maybe careful.
We need to take a. Well, we have 8 hours of not moving anyway, so that's a long rest.
Oh yeah, do we have to repair the ship or something?
So Crux will look around and say, "This old girl's taking worse before, but I'm worried about Starbo. Oh,
Oh no.
this is what happens when you oppose the Xaryxians. But you see why we must oppose them. This sort of tyrannical rule. Can't stand. I've lost too many people to them. Come, let's treat Starbo." And so he will go up to Starbo and try to mend him and help him with his branches. And what we'll say for Starbo, how many hit points does Starbo have? I actually had a token I meant to put out for him, but I forgot.
I do still have some 2nd level spell slots where I could healing word if that would make sense in the circumstances.
I'm gonna say that Starbo probably. Let's see. Let's actually look at the damage. I'm just gonna make an estimation. We'll. Excuse me.
Bless you.
Are tree ants resistant to acid? That's an important question. They're not. They're vulnerable to fire. I could have totally killed Starbo. Starbo is gonna take let's see. We'll do this. 48. That's not 88. Dang it. 48. But then how many rounds do we have in combat?
We were 6.
Okay, so we'll do 24d8. That's how we'll do the damage. I just want to roll a bunch of dice. Okay, Starbo's not dead. Starbo is very ill. Sorry.
We have to tame the space whales to take us the rest of the way.
You know, you joke about it, but after like a couple hours of hanging out here in dead space, you actually do see space whales. I'm not even kidding you. That is what happens next. So I have an entry for it and everything. So I'll share this with you. So and you don't need to heal Starbo. He'll heal over time.
Okay.
Unless you want to. But the ship has been battered. The ship is damaged, but the ship is not destroyed. And what you will discover as you are hanging out, I'm going to share this with you, is you will see some space whales. They're called Kandori. And the Kandori are these gigantic spacefaring whales that are generally pretty friendly. So they're not usually something that you would be like afraid of. Like scabbers are like sharks. They'll attack you and like eat anything. They're usually scared of people, but unless there's blood frenzy happening. The Kandori are like, hunchback whales. You wouldn't want to be like hanging around one necessarily, but they're not going to come attack you. And it is not unheard of to try to engage them. So, but the pod of whales pass through your area after like an hour of dead space. And you would know, Koraz, your Spelljammer is probably dead for another 7 hours.
I think if this were earlier on in the adventure, Ichabod would have probably tried to reach out, comprehend languages, something like that. But right now he's just traumatized and has vicious mockery like loaded in the barrel and is just waiting for them to make a move.
Yeah, you say generally friendly, but everything we've encountered has instantly tried to kill us, so...
Can I reach out telepathically? Talk to one of them?
Do they need to speak a language to talk to them telepathically?
Do not need to share a language. The contacted creature must understand a
It does not understand any languages. According to the sheet, it's just a dash there. Right? Is that what that means?
That means they have no spoken language.
Yeah, that's interesting. I would think they would know something. But I guess they're they're a 6. That's not a ridiculous intelligence. I think that's an error. Well, we'll just say that unfortunately they're like mystical beings that don't have any languages. But you do sense, they're not acting aggressively. And they have these little lights on their bodies. They're kind of flashing. And Crux looks out and says, "Do you find the Kandori interesting? They like lights. We could maybe come bring them over."
To what end? We are damaged and they are much larger than us.
Well, I just thought your friend wanted to do some sightseeing while we wait.
I was hoping it could maybe convince them that they should give us a nudge.
Well, we got a bunch of cheers happening. That can only mean one thing: that Nuthouse is preparing another wandering encounter. The Kandori go mad. And they start to bite. By the way, Planet Buster saw you. Yeah, that was an option to hire Ardra, but they had some bad rolls, and she was not happy, and they didn't have enough money.
I have 5 gold. I will give all my gold.
5 gold. That'll do it. It was like 3,000 gold or something like that. Anyway, so you wanted to convince them to see if they can give you a nudge. And so he'll say, "Well, hard to speak with the creatures, but unless you have some kind of way to communicate with natural beasts, but you could try to rope one."
I can calm emotions if you are bringing them closer. I will probably cast that because they are much larger than us and we Do not need another battle.
We
So the
want
idea
to
is
give
we're
that a
just
try.
reading-
I'm just reading through to see what the consequences are to make sure I'm
Yeah,
not
do they get angry?
provoking them. Yeah.
So the descriptions, they lack a noticeable mouth. That's a good sign.
Yeah, they've got pretty big tails though that they could just thwack and send us flying.
That is actually their attack method, is tail.
It's thwack.
It's not thwack, but it is tail. And looking at the stats and the creature, rather, you would be like, yeah, I probably don't want to fight one of those things,
No.
but
We haven't wanted to fight very many things that wanted to fight us.
but if you definitely wanted to like engage with them, you could do that. You could also just ride it out. Your sort of stance here is up to you, and you would know. And I guess Crux would, and Koraz, you would know. You just entered Doomspace. In theory, you're really just like a couple hours away, maybe, if you could get your ship up and running.
Yeah, that's why I don't want to be a sitting duck here because what's his name? Just absconded and yeah. So I think maybe I'll cast like Fairy Fire on the back of the ship. Like basically, like I want to get one close and try to entice it to like.
Yeah. So you cast Fairy Fire in the back of the ship, and is that what you're doing?
Yeah, I'll do that.
Okay. So yeah, you can go ahead and cast that. No problem. And your Fairy Fire illuminates the back of the ship, and out in space, it's quite beautiful against the backdrop. And the Ghidorah are predictably attracted. They see the lights. They are sort of drawn, curious, and they communicate with lights. And as they come over, they are kind of like, you could see their bodies are dotted with all these tiny eyes, like all over their whole body. And the eyes are sort of like blinking little lights at you. If you look too closely, you maybe get a little blinded by it. But they're kind of like these, almost like little, like they're communicating with lights. They're flashing at the ship as if they're trying to communicate and talk to the ship, which I guess I lied. Like, I guess that's not true because they don't have a fucking language. Like, I don't know they're just flashing. Damn you,
it's like animals, communicate like bees doing the dance. It's not like a language.
That's true. That's not a language. I guess you're
Right.
right. So that's fair. So they're communicating like bees doing a dance with little lights.
Maybe I'll Fairy Fire. I'll get like some of my kids involved too, and they could be like little airport marshals, like
They're like,
their wands, like right here.
yeah, they're in the midst, and they all failed their saving throws, and they are glowing.
And they're trying to like make an arrow to like push us.
Apply
So,
pressure here.
I'll say that I'll say the Ghidorah definitely get close to the ship, and they definitely start to nudge it, but like in a sort of like playful way. It's not making a lot of traction. Like, you're making some movement, but it's pretty minimal. It's not like you're moving but very slow as they're bumping. But they keep bumping and just bumping, and you get like maybe you get like a nice like 20-foot speed. At this rate, it'll take you probably like 5 or 6 days.
Well, in a few hours, we'll be able to fly again, right?
That's fair. Yeah, so they nudge you, and you're moving fast enough that you're basically moving like sublight speed, like if you use like Star Trek lingo. It's you're not getting that like super fast movement you can get whenever you are traveling full speed, but you're kind of moving at like 20 foot. It's just bumping you and bumping you, and you'll get out of the immediate vicinity. And after about like 20 or 30 minutes of that, they're gonna get bored and want to leave. And really, probably like Fairy Fire only lasts like a minute, right?
I think so.
Yeah, so that minute they'll be like aggressively pushing you, and as the light goes out, maybe they're kind of like, "What's going on? Hey, wake up!" Kind of like nudging you like a pet or something might, and then they'll get a bit bored and they'll start to swim off or fly off.
Well, it was an idea.
So, but it's interesting. It's this beautiful, calm moment. You have like 7 hours or 8 hours or so sitting ducks. You see some fish swimming around, and maybe a couple of scabbers that no, they're not coming near you or anything like that. Like that's not the combat is over, right? Starbow is recovering. What would you like to do for that time period?
Take a short rest and regain some hit points.
Okay, you may all take a short rest.
I believe that I can up your hit dice. Let me see what that feature is called.
It's the eloquence thing.
It is Song of Rest. I'll just put it in chat here.
Yeah, you can all get an extra D8 from me from the chef's feat.
Ooh.
Yeah, so you get extra 1d6 from me and what, 1d8 from you, Alex?
Oh my. This is a
Think
short rest
this.
feast.
Yeah, extra 1d8.
Okay. And what we're going to say is, since you are dead in the water hanging out here, we are going to get some potential encounters. So let me look up the encounter options. We are in wild space, right? And remind me, DMs, do you roll a d20 every hour? Is that the way it works? Or d12 every hour? I forget what the encounter thing is.
It really depends.
We'll just do d20. I'm just making it up. Let's go. Where are my encounters? Oh, there's an encounter list in here. You know what? It's 9:15. I'll tell you what. Y'all get lucky. No encounters happen. I'll tell you what, roll a d20, and if you roll a 1, I'll just have something horrible happen. Otherwise, it's fine. But I'll look up the encounter tables later. Who wants to roll the faithful d20?
I just did.
Got it.
Oh, Koraz! Oh.
Nothing horrible happens. You avoid any catastrophic encounters. The stain does not come back. You bless your lucky stars that Stain probably just was making an ego play more than anything. And you are still alive. At this point, the ship kicks into gear. The spell jamming helm picks back up. And you may roll whatever you want to do for your short rests and handle all of that. And you can make your way back over towards Topola.
Can we do any fishing in the meantime?
Oh, yeah.
Fishing rods?
Yeah. Do you want to do some fishing?
If we had a little time to play
Oh,
that
yeah.
out. Yeah.
You got like 7 hours you could fish.
Yeah, I got a fishing rod as well, so I might as well do that. I don't know how that mechanic works.
So I will look it up. We did it last time, and it was something like you roll a d12 or something like that. For some reason, my D&D Beyond is trying to crash. Come on, D&D Beyond, don't do this. This is the wrong time.
We need you, D&D Beyond.
Make an angler check.
Make an English. I mean, it's something like that. Where is it?
Fishing.
It is space fishing. Yeah, my D&D Beyond is freezing for some reason. I can't even find my thingy. Why is this happening? You know what? I'm gonna close this. Okay. So what we'll say is for the fishing. Yeah, D&D Beyond is not. It's unresponsive. I mean, like not the the link. No matter how I come at it. Damn it. Let me try to pull it up on the phone. I think it's like a D12. Does that sound right to anybody?
Sounds right. I'm trying to find the Spelljammer book. See if I can look it up. Oh, here we
Yeah.
go. There it is. Okay.
This is what happens when you just rely on technology.
Space fishing.
It's in here. It's in here. I'm almost there. Almost there.
Let's see.
It is
Astral fishing. That's what it's called.
astral fishing. Yeah.
It's a D10.
D10. Okay, so roll me a D10. Actually, no. First, you make me a survival check. So each of you roll me a survival check. DC 15.
Anyone who's fishing or all of us?
Anyone who's fishing.
Oh,
Get
okay.
a-
I don't have a fishing.
For
pole.
each hour that
20?
you're fishing. Yeah, D20 survival check.
Yeah, 20.
Oh, yeah. Yep. So you succeeded. And then did you roll for the fish? Zeph, did you roll D10?
3.
Okay. Just making sure that 10 wasn't your roll. Okay. All right. You rolled a 3. So you got a tiny edible fish that feeds one person.
Yay.
Koraz, you rolled 8 on your survival? Okay.
Yeah.
All right, cool. You can keep rolling, so as many times as you want. Keep in mind there's other things in here besides stuff to eat.
Okay, yeah. I'll roll another survival. Because we have how many hours to fish
You
with?
could roll it 7 times.
7 times. I'm going to do it.
What's the DC on the survival check?
15.
All right, that's my second hour. I got nothing. Third
Nothing.
hour.
I'm up empty.
Third hour, I got a 16.
You make it. Roll me a d10.
Okay.
You are going to get a tiny edible fish that feeds one person. So you're just like getting like little tiny bits.
And I got a 6.
Oh, you got a 6? You got a small edible fish. It feeds 4 people. So you get a big whopper, right? So you can feed everybody on the deck. And then Zeph, you got another tiny fish. You got 2 tiny fish. Any other rolls?
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm gonna. It's 4. So I got 3 more hours to fish with, so we're gonna throw 3 more rolls. 1, 2.
Tiny fish.
Another tiny fish, Zeph. You got 3 tiny fish.
Okay, so this one I got a fishy with.
You got it. D10.
It's a 9.
So we're gonna roll for initiative. So actually, I don't know what happens here. So okay, well let's see what everyone else gets. So Zeph, you get another tiny edible fish. So Koraz, as you're fishing, you got like you're getting better at it, and you're watching Zeph as he's more like routinely just pulling up a little fish keeps making it. You're like empty, then you get a big fish, empty, and this next time you get something tugging beneath the boat, and you pull it up, and it's a giant eel. It's a space eel.
Ooh.
There's a lot of space things in here. So we're gonna pull up a space eel, and what we're gonna do is I'm not gonna roll full on initiative. I'm just gonna have it take a bite out of you, and then you can decide what you want to do with it. You can let it go, or you can try to kill it. Whatever's gonna happen, but it's gonna come up, and it's going to take a if it isn't attached to a creature. Okay, well that's scary. It's gonna shoot its tail at you.
Okay.
So it's gonna make a little attack roll. Did I click it? Uh-oh. Am I crashing?
Maybe.
Sounds like I'm okay, but for some reason it's not wanting to roll. I'll just roll a d20.
+3, right?
It's gonna be a +3. Yeah, 16.
Hits.
All right, so you need to give me a Constitution saving throw.
Okay. Come on, baby. Come on. I fail.
So you take 6 points of damage. I hope you did a short rest. Did you do a short rest before this, right? Okay.
Yeah.
And you are poisoned.
Oh, great.
And you're paralyzed. So what's gonna happen is you basically pull this space seal up, and it goes flying out of the thing, and I'll show you what it looks like too. So it's like this little crazy looking. Oh, that looks terrible. Never mind, ignore that. It's a blue spiny eel comes up, and it just stabs you. You freeze up, and it just fucks off into space.
Koraz! Koraz! I think you just got attacked by the Flogis Inspector. It got you.
Now, what is the poison? Just paralyzes me for a certain amount of time, or does it have an effect after that?
You're poisoned for a minute, and you have the poison condition unless you're immune or something. And you can repeat a saving throw at the end of each of your turns. So you're basically paralyzed for 1 minute, unless you make a saving throw.
So I'm gonna attempt to say, "Hey, I think I'm okay," but I won't be able to for quite some time.
Yeah, for about a minute.
And then I'm gonna get up and I'm gonna be like,
I don't think I'm gonna keep fishing with my last hour here.
Yeah, maybe take another short rest.
Here, have a tiny edible fish.
Yeah, you
It'll
got
make
like
you
a
feel better.
string.
I do have a big old fish that'll feed us all four of us. So
Yeah, the worst one or the best one you can get, I don't know, best, worst, however you want to look at it. It's if you roll a 10, you almost roll a 10. I guess I shouldn't tell you. I'll just let you know what. Oh, it's
Yeah,
just
we
a
might
gray
go
snapper.
fishing. Oh, okay.
Yeah, it's just a shark. That's fine. No big deal. That's not that exciting. I might throw like a 10 and then we roll it again and see what happens. I think it'd be more fun to have something crazy come out.
I will hand my fish over to Zeph though, to use for cooking stuff.
Yeah.
So Zeph, you have a whole crew of tiny edible fish, I think, and then the small edible fish. And then you got us on the space you'll escape. Never mind. It's too bad. It feeds 12 people. So anything else on this while you're waiting it out?
I think we should do a ceremony for Teddy and
Oh,
send him
yeah.
off.
A Viking funeral.
Yes. If he had not been here, some of those attacks would have been aimed towards us, and we may not have survived.
That's true.
I wish I could keep his beautiful eyes, but I don't think he would appreciate that.
Just stick him in your little gooey body. Just
Put
float
him in my
around.
mask, you know.
Oh my god, that'd be incredible.
But
That way
that seems
Theodore can be with us
disrespectful.
forever.
Yes, that I think that is too disrespectful. But yeah, we could send him off into space.
Yeah, I like
Okay.
the idea of that. Give him a little, send him off into space with some respect.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, you can do that. No problem. Just any, and Crux will help you, and he'll get out like his medals and shit, and like get his musket and like make it all like military like.
No
Yeah,
grenades though. No more grenades.
Like I use them all.
Okay.
We can restock.
I think other than that, that's all I got for the space in between. After that, I think Koraz will probably be a little bit hesitant as he goes to sit in the helm. He's going to maybe fashion himself a bit of a tinfoil hat before put something metal on his antennas, and then sit down in the helm, kind of take a deep breath and get us going.
Cool. So in really a handful of hours, maybe like, I don't know, somewhere in like, maybe like a half a day, let's say, you will be able to make it to Tupolosh Tower. You'll move really quickly, and you'll zoom in, and you'll kind of come out of the hyperspeed mode or whatever, and you'll see this rock with a very flat, surface, and this crickety looking tower that's about 3 stories rising up from it, with like a couple of asteroid belts like circling around the rock, around the tower rather. And you can see there's a dock sticking out from one of the sides, and Commander Crux will have a spyglass out, and he's looking, and he'll see the pier, and he'll say, "Ooh, I don't think it's wise that we get too close. That looks like a rickety pier," and he's kind of peeking out. "I think we should take jolly boats. Mr. Flinch!" And he will call for Mr. Flinch. "Ready the jolly!" And Mr. Flinch will do a half-hearted salute, take a drag from his cigar, and he'll skulk off to get a jolly boat ready. So basically, Crux is going to indicate to you that he thinks that the dock over there it's more like a pier, like someone's pier in like their backyard, it's like where they have a little tiny lake or something. And he's suggesting that you jolly over there and leave the ship kind of like in orbit, so to speak. So, who all is going over?
Oh, should someone stay on the ship? Maybe that is someone should stay on the ship. Right? Should we all go? Or should someone stay?
Well, the only thing is if we all go, I guess the ship, if somebody decides to get on the ship, well, then they wouldn't be attuned to the helm. They couldn't just steal the ship.
Mm-hmm.
So
I could stay on the ship and be kind of lookout just in case, some new shape from space wants to roll up on our ship, as is prone to happen.
Space is a dangerous place.
Yes. We have
Crux will say,
seen
no, I think Mr. Flint should stay behind. We should all be together.
Oh, Mr. Flinch was valiant in the last battle.
Mr. Flinch. Mr. Mr. Flinch was one NPC too many for the DM. The DM forgot to make a token for Mr. Flinch. Probably like 6
I mean,
points.
we're probably better up because I think Mr. Flinch would have been dead.
Right.
He would have been so
Probably.
dead. Yeah, he would have been killed for sure. He's like Mr. Flinch. Actually, yeah, Mr. Flinch is gonna stay behind. He's a master of disguise, tactics. If he sees something going on, he'll be able to signal us. I don't know why disguise was in there.
Who are you really,
We
Mr. Flinch?
No, it's a signal because we won't recognize him.
He can sneak on the enemy ship. So Crux will indicate that he thinks the main party needs to go. This would have been a great time to leave the Umber Hulk behind, but I guess you are technically. But he recognize like everyone needs to go. Let's go because you need to talk to Topola, and he'll just say, Topola is a good person, but a little eccentric. But she will know what to do. And jolly on over. And you'll all be able to kind of row on. And as you approach the dock, you'll see that there are scores of pelicans, mollymox, other smaller birds just nesting all over this asteroid, and they're squawking as you approach. There's just tons of these birds. At the end of the dock, you see 2 scavers, and they are fighting over a pelican. Like that's a slain pelican. They're like pecking at its body at the end of the dock. But then a woman who's sitting in a rocking chair at the base of the tower. She sees you coming, and she's got this long, big wide brim hat. There's a bird, it's like a blue jay sitting on the top of the hat. Her hair is sort of frayed. She is holding a staff, and she says, "Go on, get!" And then she shoots a fiery ray from her fingertip, and kind of zaps one of the scavers, and they both just like flee off. And you are safe to approach the dock.
Okay, well, I am not a good spokesperson for our group, but she looks friendly. We should go.
Okay, well, I know Topola. We go way back. So I'll tell you what. I will do the introductions, but I think that it would be good if someone who's good at communication could sum up the thoughts, because sometimes I can get ahead of myself. And he'll kind of like pull up his breeches and tighten up his jacket, and he'll strap on his 7 grenades, and he'll grab his musket, and he'll hop out of the jolly boat into the dock and just strut over to Topola, and she'll get out of her chair, and they'll embrace and talk a bit, and then he'll point back to the rest of the party and just kind of motion for you to come up.
Hey.
Come on,
Closer.
come on, a little closer. And she's just motion.
Well,
The birds don't bite. And just like 6 birds go flying out from various places.
Ichabod is there, but he is not really saying anything. He's kind of eyeing her warily. But yeah, he's not going to be the one to tell their story. He's, for once, stepping back and kind of intentionally not being the spokesperson.
Okay. Sounds good. I will, I'm going to activate a map, and this is, the tendency is, oh, you know what? Let me fix the vision.
It's very dark here. Maybe you should light some. Oh, okay.
And so I'm not going to put tokens on this map. I will just, well, you know what? I'll put Topola just so you can see where she's at. But don't feel like you need to like put yourself on here or anything like that or do anything. I'm just giving this to you so you can see, generally speaking, kind of the situation. So you're going to be meeting her. She's sort of like sitting in this rocking chair over here, and she'll get up and greet you. And feel free to like, I'm not gonna, you can look around this map. Like, don't feel like I didn't put any kind of like fog of war stuff on it. She's gonna show you around, so feel free to like peruse it if you would like, or you can kind of play it out roleplay wise. But she's gonna quickly say, well, anyone who's a friend of Crux is a friend of mine. Come on in. Let me give you a tour of the tower.
And this is your tower.
Oh yes.
It is very nice.
Well, thank you. What's your name?
I am Placebo. It is a pleasure to
Placebo?
meet you. Yes.
Oh, that's a lovely name. I'm Topola. And she takes her hat and like dons it off, and like this frizzy mess of like blonde hair just is kind of like, it's all frayed at the edges, just kind of flops out, and the burr that was on her head goes, flies it off, and then just lands back on her bare head. And then she puts the hat down. It's like, well, I'll tell you what. Let me show you around. How about the rest of you? What's your little? Well, he wouldn't say that's terrible. Your 3 green friends. What are their names?
Well, my name is Zeph, and this here is. These are my kids. I can run through them. This is Lisa and Tina and Damon and Angel and Mac. Oh, you know what? There's just too many of them.
Yeah, she's nodding, and then she kind of like starts to glaze, and she's like, "Oh, well, nice to meet you. I've always been a fan of a big family. I came from a big family myself. Not as big, but you know. Anyways, so how about you?" And she points at you, Koraz. What's your story? You look a little rough around the edges.
I'm rough everywhere, but I'm Koraz.
Okay, well, nice to meet you, Koraz. And then the shy one in the back with the fancy little hat there. Hello, come on up.
He does step up and kind of doffs his hat and gives a slight bow and just says, I am Ichabod. We are
Okay.
hoping you can help us because my planet, my sister's planet, is on the verge of an apocalypse.
Oh, you don't say. Now I think I got something to show you, if that's the case. But I'll tell you what, hospitality is still important in this day and age. I think it often gets left behind. So let me just give you a quick tour of the tower so you can get kind of the lay of the land, and then we can go up to my observatory. And so she'll show you around, and basically she'll take you through each of the floors. There's 3 floors to the tower, and as you're traversing it, you'll see there's birds sort of festooned everywhere. There's nests all up and down the tower. There's different places where birds are nested like underneath the rock, like, you know, they're flopping around and dealing with the gravity. I'm sure how that happens. I need some help from the chat how the gravity works. But they're flying around, crossing the plane of gravity, and like freaking out. And she will show you around, and essentially, like, this is a tower you're maybe not even sure how it's still functioning, like how it's held together. But you get this sense there's a lot of magical components, and so she'll walk you into that first floor. And at first glance, it looks like, you know, maybe the tower is like completely windowless. But she has the ability, as she sort of like walks through the door, touches the side of the tower, and like a door disappears in the side of the tower, and she just opens up and lets you in. And then the first floor you will see what you see in that map. You'll see this, basically this giant ringed garden that just completely covers that first floor all over the place. And she'll say, so, it's not much. This is where most of my food comes from. I keep myself healthy and regular, and fresh produce all coming out from here. And I get fresh soil delivered to me from Dowar merchants, and I got homegrown food. I got birds' eggs.
Yes. You must really like birds. There are many birds here.
Oh, thank you. Yeah, I mean, I guess I just have a fondness for them. I get kind of lonely. And as she says that, you see this little mechanical man that's about 3 feet tall comes like turning around the corners. And it is kind of like it's holding like a watering can, and it's moving like and just like moving, and steam is like pouring out of its body. Like it's just barely able to it's like trying its hardest and move just like in slow motion. And it sees you, and it says, and it puts the watering can down, and it kind of shakes like it's about to explode. And then it stops and says, hello, I am Arwick 1. And then it kind of like does like a
Aww.
So polite.
Pleasure to meet you, Arwick 1.
And she says, oh, never mind those. They actually came with something I'm going to show you a little bit later. I have a merchant that I deal with, and he threw these guys in. I couldn't say no. I felt bad for him. I mean, look at him. And then you see another one that looks identical to the first one, comes like, and its leg kind of like starts to like creak, and it has to like drag its leg. And says, I am Orwick 3.
Oh, I would have predicted 2. Pleasure to meet you, Arwick 3. Yes.
And it just starts to stare at you, and it just no reaction to your pleasantry. And then 2 more come up, and they'll introduce themselves as Orwick 6 and Orwick 8.
There's like a tragic story somewhere in the mix here.
Yeah, I have to roll with that. But anyways, and you'll see that they're performing sort of like sundry tasks around the garden, like they're watering things, and Topple will just say, well, just between you and me, they really don't do much. In fact, I'm not even sure those cans have anything in them, but yeah, I couldn't bring it to myself just to cast them away. So they do the best they can, but it just I will say this: be careful. They're a little excitable. Sometimes if you get them a bit too excited, they have a tendency to malfunction. So if you hear one yelling real loud, my suggestion is to just like get going, just get out, because sometimes it's something as simple as their head pops off, but I have had a couple just straight up explode.
Like 2, 7, and 4?
No, actually, they're around, but there are quite a few that aren't around anymore. So, but you'll beat the rest, I'm sure. Though I can't. Actually, maybe 2 is one of the ones. She's like kind of thinking like which one's which, and she can't quite place it. But, anyways, let me show you around. And so these little auto gnome creatures, they're just wandering around doing aimless tasks. And so she'll take you to the second floor. And so the second floor is over here. Just to get a visual. This is a map. It's not an official map. It's something that was created by a really awesome person that I forgot their name. Shit. It used to be. I thought it was on these maps. Anyway, something you can purchase from DM's Guild. I'll look it up. I've said it before. I use the same person, but I'm blanking. But you'll get up to the second level, and there'll be 2 more of the Orwicks, and they'll introduce themselves. And these 2 is Oric 2 and 4. So they made it. And turns out, and then you will. But then she'll show you. This is my living room, and there's where I like to stay. There's a messy bed, and there's where my books are. I take meals here. The auto gnomes, they do the best to cook. Sometimes it comes out okay, But anyways, you like a scaver steak, I can get you set up. I can get you something more veggie based, but we've got plenty of food here, no problem. And the gnomes are like kind of wandering around trying to like fix things in the tower. And yeah, I think that's all that she'll show you there.
At this point, Ichabod will kind of interrupt, and he's feeling a little impatient because he just feels like there's a threat. You know, certainly there's a threat to his home world, and he'll kind of turn over and say, "You have enemies, madam. We encountered some on the way here who tried to stop our arrival. What is to prevent them from assailing your home here? I don't see any weapons or soldiers. You live here alone with these auto gnomes."
Well, you're pretty forward, aren't you? Well, I'll tell you what. Why don't we cut to the chase and go on up to my observatory? Because I think that you're a man of action, and I like the get in your step. So let's go ahead and do that. And she'll pull you on up to like the observatory. And while she's doing that, she's basically ignoring your question about defending herself. And she'll say, "Take a look in that old telescope there." And you see this big telescope.
He does so.
You will see the unmistakable image of Mucopia. And it looks worse than when you saw it last. You see your home planet. You see all of the vines just ripping apart. An entire, like, as far as you can tell, like maybe like a half of the planet's surface, like the landmass, is just covered in these fibrous vines that are visible from even just looking at like a telescope. Like they're gigantic and just pulsating with energy. And she'll say, "So that right there is that's your home planet. That's Mucopia. Is that what you meant by apocalypse?"
Yes.
That's what I thought. So listen, here's the deal. My role in this, I don't oppose the Xaryxians. I live here in solace on this little here tower. But I see what's happening. And you're not the first planet, and you won't be the last planet. So listen, I'm not about to have a fight with these people, but I will help you. But I need a little help from you first. And Crux is like, "Toperla, please, we need action. We need to go fast." She's like, I know, but listen, I got a problem. It's a small problem. Strapping lads and lasses or goo people, whatever you all are. That's actually probably offensive too. I should stop saying goo people. I feel like I'm getting like vaguely into like,
Ichabod will remember this.
Strapping Thrycreen and plasmoids. Like, I think you can help me with something, and I'm more than happy to give you directions. I have a wild space orrery, and you would know that a wild space orrery is kind of like basically like it's a device that you can use to navigate a particular wild space. It basically shows you location, everything that's going on in that wild space. And she'll say, "Listen, I have a wild space orrery that's attuned to Doom Space here, and I can give you some pointers. All I'm asking for you to do is to kill one fish, one scaver. That's all."
Is it a specific Gavver?
Yes, we've already killed several on the way here.
Well, this one's a little different. I like to call her Big Mama. She's not your everyday gray scaver. She's what you would know as maybe you've heard the term void scaver. This would be like hearing like great white shark or something like that, or like Jaws. She's a void scaver, which as you can see, I mean, to your point, I'm not necessarily equipped to do a lot of combat fighting, and you probably are. So she bothers me. She eats my fish. I mean, my birds. She's taken a couple of the autognomes out, and I just would like you to slay her. That's simple.
Does sound easy.
Oh, it's gonna be so easy for you. I can just tell. You especially. You got that look in your eyes.
Yes, I'm sure it is worthwhile to save some birds while thousands more of my people die. Yes, that sounds like a fair exchange.
Give me whatever kind of check you want, persuasion or intimidation.
All right, let's pull my actor sheet up. Oh, I think.
How about a guilt? Laying
Yeah, guilt. Yeah,
laying on the guilt
A
trip.
guilt trip, guilt check.
I guess I'll do intimidation. I mean, he's feeling pretty surly. He's making it very clear that he is not a fan of this. Oh, I'll help you if you help me get rid of this stupid monster.
Mm-hmm. Okay. So I wasn't even looking at boundaries. What'd you roll? 22. So yeah, so you lay it on thick, and it doesn't take much to collapse her. She'll just say, "You're right. It isn't often I get visitors nowadays. You know, Crux, I haven't seen you in ages, and my significant other, Grimzod, he's gone. He left me. I left him, really. That's really the way it went down. I was the one that ended it, but either way, I'm all alone, and I just thought someone could help me out with my problem, but you're right. We shouldn't waste any time, so I'll give you the wild space orrery. You don't have to take care of old mama, Big Mama. I'll figure it out.
Oh, but maybe Big Mama is on the way out, Ichabod, and we can help her before we leave, just on the way.
We have barely walked away from every encounter we have ever faced since leaving Macopia.
She is all alone.
We lost our friend Teddy on the way here. I care nothing for her birds, and I apologize for my candor, and I appreciate that you have a problem, but everyone we have met has either returned our goodwill with threats, outright violence, or in your case, what could be construed as blackmail.
You know what? I think my schedule's gonna open up like pretty big after all this like Empire stuff is dealt with. So I'll give you my card, and
she'll take your card and say, "All right, I see how it is, and listen, I'm not going to stand in the way. Let me show you how this thing works." And so she's going to pull up the wild space orrery, and she's basically going to explain that like way it works. It's going to show you where you are in relation to all the planets and the moons and the sun in Doom space. And so as soon as you kind of like gain access to it, and you, I don't know if let me see if it's attuned to it or anything like that. You don't. There's no attunement to it. So basically, what it's going to be like, it's almost like a radar system that it's going to show a little white pulsating pinprick of light, showing you where the orrery itself, the object, is in relation to all of the planets and comets and everything like that. And so she'll show that to you and say, you can use this. This will help you navigate through Doom space, and you'll be able to basically locate any other kind of like facilities or any other resources. You'll be able to see planets and space stations and whatever the hell else stuff is out there on this sucker right here. And that's it. You can have it free of charge.
That is very kind of you, right? It is. We appreciate this very much.
Yeah.
Yes, it will. It is a decision you had made to help us, and it will not be forgotten. Hopefully, we will be able to repay your kindness once we have ended this overarching threat to wild space everywhere.
No, that makes sense.
And I'm gonna ask her, now that we have this map and we know all the areas, like we're looking, for that coalition. Where on the map do you know where? Does she know where we could find them?
So she'll actually give you a now that you have the orrery, like you see all the different like locations in Doom Space, and so she'll point out a couple of things. So she'll point out, like, you'll notice when the orrery comes live, there's this whirling vortex in the center of the orrery, and so she's gonna like walk you through each of these planets. I'll send this information to y'all separately, but just to give you some information. And but she'll say, hold on a second, let me actually check before I say some stuff. Because I'm sort of out of order here. Let me just make sure where you'd be pointed at this point. But I'll tell you what, I'll walk you through the space, and then I'll double check the location. So she will point out that the center is this vortex, and that's the Eye of Doom. You don't need to go there, because anything that goes into that vortex, something real bad happens. Nobody really knows actually what happens, but no one comes back. I'll just put it that way. So stay away from the Eye of Doom, hence the Doom Space. And if you look at Crux, he looks a little bit like sheepish about like not knowing that there was this gigantic Doom Eye in the center of Doom Space. So he's not very knowledgeable. And then she'll point out a couple different places, and I think the one that I'm thinking that will be interesting to you. You know what? I'll just send those stuff to you later. But she's gonna say that there's several moons. There's a volcanic planet that was was despoiled by dragons. There is a water world called there's just a bunch of stuff. I'll just send this to you all later because it's 9:55. I'm not gonna like narrate it all. But you'll point out all the different planets and say, look, all right, here's all these different places. There's, probably the place you would be thinking about the most are Vault, Firene, Malus, and Arun. But I'll outline everything for you, and she'll do that, and I will save an image and send that to you in a minute. And as far as directions, I'm trying not to like derail something that is coming up. And you will be directed to, yeah, she's going to tell you, you want to go to Arun. So Arun. Go there, then you're gonna meet up with the Artoks. They're one of the factions that's opposing the Xaryxians. I'd recommend you start there, but there's several factions in this Doomspace area. So if the Artoks don't work for you, you could go see you could go to the Vokath. He's another one of the factions. And she starts like listing off these factions that I'm gonna have to like triple check that I'm telling you all the right ones. But she'll list off a few, and she'll say all these different places, these would be good for you to check out. Really, they're pretty divided. So just do the best you can with it, and just, if somebody's not helping you out, my recommendation, just go to the next faction, go to the next location, and just see, try to make them all work together with you, and just do the best you can. And she just kind of shrugs at Crux. And Crux also like looks a little dejected, like, well, I guess the best thing for us is to get out there and start making friends. We'll start with Arun. Does that sound good with you?
We're like really good at making friends, so this should be no problem.
I like making friends. Yes.
Cool. She'll say, all right, well, if that's the case, then you're welcome to have some veggies on the way out. Otherwise, good luck.
Just the veggies, though? That steak was looking pretty good.
Oh, yeah, the scaver. You like the scaver steak?
Ew.
And she'll go down and you'll see that in the kitchen, one of the autonomes is like cooking the steak.
They are aware.
What? What's that?
Oh, I'm sorry, my audio and video are lagging severely. Am I in real time now?
You're in real time, yes.
Okay. Ichabod will, tell her that she may be in danger. The Astro Elf we encountered on the way here mentioned her in her tower by name, and she might not be as safe as she thinks she is.
Cool. She'll say, well, that's unfortunate, but I'll do the best I can. I don't know what else to say. And she'll just say, but you know what? Maybe this old rock is lived its life, and it's time for me to just start packing up. But I don't know. Well, maybe they got to come uproot me. Maybe I'll just stay here until they finally get annoyed enough they want to get me out. And she'll just kind of like motion him, but she will point out to the scaver steak. And basically what you'll see there, Alex, is one of the Autonomes is cooking it without the fire. He's just like flipping it in a pan. And it's just like this raw steak.
I like them
Like
raw,
flipping it.
but I like them rare, but just take
Its
it to
head
go.
completely swivels around and says, I'm Orwick 17.
Like some help there, buddy?
Its head twirls back the other. It keeps going at 360. and just keeps flipping. Yeah, and you could easily like cook up a steak if you want. You'll need to take over. The Autonom will not be able to cook it.
I'll just kind of like I'll get the oven or the flames going with my tinderbox or whatever, and I'll let him have the satisfaction of like I'm just assisting.
Yeah, it just keeps flipping, and like more steam comes out of the creature's head, like as it's like cooking. It's getting very
too many
excited.
cooks in the kitchen. I'm sorry.
Let's see. Actually, what you know? What wouldn't it be funny? Let's actually just do that right now. Alex, roll me a d20. So, remember its head was kind of like rotating. So it's like cooking, and it's like really getting into like flipping the steak, and it's like flipping the steak. It shouldn't be doing this, but just it's flipping the steak no matter what. That's what's happening. Steak's like flipping out like a pancake, and its head just goes, starts to spin, and just like boings off of its head, and he says, "Who turned out the lights?" And the head goes flying out the window, and it's like a spring where its head was, like this big, gigantic, like big old spring, and it just starts to flip the steak, exact same rhythm it was doing. Its head is gone.
Oh, now it is only Orwick 16 and a half.
Just so you know, if you had rolled a 17, you would have gotten an explosion.
Oh no.
Oh.
But so you were close. You were almost there.
I think
I
broke
like
your
how like
butler.
Autonomes. Oh, go ahead.
I think I broke your butler there.
And she's like, "Oh, dang it, Orwick 16. That or which one was it? Was it 16?
I think he was 17.
It's like, oh, Orwick 17. I'm sorry, I can't keep track of these things. That's the first time that's happened. Well, actually, maybe it has. Now I'm saying maybe that was 16 that happened. And she starts like ruminating over it, and she's like, "Well, I'll get the head. Like, I'll go figure it out. Y'all get out there, and just be safe traveling."
You want to remember them, you might consider giving them proper names. That would, I pitched to my wife a long time ago about numbering all the kids, and she had the foresight to be like, no, they need names. Otherwise, 100. No.
Well, you got some experience. What should we name this fellow?
Well, this guy probably doesn't need a name anymore.
He's technically just blind and deaf until someone puts his head back on. It's not dead.
But his head flew out the window, right? Is it just like floating around out in wild
Yeah,
space?
it's floating out. It's probably in the asteroid belt that was circling the tower. So, yeah, and just these Autonomes have like all these things. If you like hurt them, they explode and stuff. It's like, who's killing Autonomes?
Really
Anyways.
awful people.
Yeah. I guess if they're told to fight you, you have to fight back. say, well, I'll pack you all lunches, and she'll pack you all whatever you want. You can have a little lunch, and what we'll do, since we got the cooking mechanic, let's say that every one of you has an equivalent treat that Zeph can create. So you got an extra treat hanging out.
Ooh.
So I think it's like 3 bonus hit points, 10 hit points. I mean,
Yeah.
okay. So you'll be able to gear up on your ship, and your ship is functional because you managed to stave off the. You're gonna take one for the team, Koraz, and so the ship is still around, and the Spelljammer helm is functional, so you're able to like really pretty much just pick up and get going. But you don't get very far until you cross into a
Should we have spent the
shipwreck.
night?
Oh yeah, do y'all want to spend the night?
Should we spend the night before heading out, guys?
That'd be
Koraz
great.
is just kind of like, I'm very tired.
You may take a long rest. You're gonna get a long rest if you had the whales tow you, because it takes them more than a day. But so you may have you can take a long rest. So everyone take a long rest, and then in the morning you'll get your treats, and you can get on the ship. It's okay. We're about to wrap the session up. I wasn't gonna drop another crazy fight on you.
You get in your ship, and once again,
Yeah, you run into. So this time, you don't run into. You start heading towards a rune, or where are y'all wanting to head? I guess I should say. You know what? It doesn't matter wherever you head, because we're at 10 o'clock. You will very immediately get dropped into a area of wreckage, and I don't actually. Do I have it open? Let's see. Yeah, it's not. Yeah, this is it. Okay, so let me fix the map. Sorry, I keep forgetting that this is a thing I have to do. Look, I assumed you would have had your ship. See, I kept it on here. But you'll be passing through, and the way it works, anytime you're near enough of a mass, you get slowed down, and you stop, and you're in the middle of this wreckage. And what it is it's several spelljamming ships that have been destroyed. And it is
Sorry, guys, it wasn't on the map.
yeah, it was on the map, and so you just fly right through, shoop, and you drop out in the middle of this, and it is just like clearly like a fleet of ships have been just wiped out. It's a total of 3 flying fishes, 3 lampreys, and 2 squid ships. But you'll also notice in the wreckage 2 star moths.
that is
This
a
is
lot
very
of ships.
disconcerting.
Yes. What do you think happened to them, Koraz?
I don't want to know. But it definitely has to do with the Floxton Spectre.
I thought so.
I just saw him. I know he's in the region.
As you're sort of traveling through this wreckage at a slower speed, you got to like exit out. The second wind is pushing up against broken bits of ship. You see a crimson pirate flag, bloodstained flag, floating through space. Gets wrapped up against one of the masts, and then 2 human corpses, float towards the ship. Because your kind of plane of gravity starts to come into effect. And they bump up against the ship. And, so if anyone's watching, you see this happen. And then the corpses climb the ship. And these
not
2 people climb up, these 2 dead bodies. They pull themselves over, and they're wearing bandanas. They have earrings all over through their, kind of like covering, like hanging from their ears, their nose, pierced off their lips. And they're tattooed up, and they clamber aboard the ship just like out of nowhere, and they drop on the ground, and they're panting. And anyone on deck at this moment, would you be on deck watching all this chaos?
Oh yeah.
Just start asking a question.
Yeah,
first.
I was. Well, I guess Koraz would be in the Spelljammer, but I think I would go out to take a look.
Yeah, I think anytime we drop out of warp, anytime we stop, Ichabod would just come running up expecting a battle.
Okay. So these two men stand up, and Ichabod and Placebo, you will see them. They are clearly emaciated humans. Very pale skin that's tightly clinging to their bodies. You can see in their face is elongated, and their ears are a bit pointy, and they have fangs, and they are vampires. And so they will kind of take stock of their situation. They each have have their weapons still, but they will hold up their hands, and the first one will say, "My name is Vlad. I am not here to fight you. I am a survivor. Please don't attack."
Okay. You're looking for some help? What happened out here?
He looks at you, Zeph. He says, points out to the zoo. "There was an ambush. Half the fleet was destroyed." But
Are you a Xaryxian?
no, the Xaryxians are the ones who killed us. Don't you see the star moths out there?
I thought
Look
maybe
at me, and he's
they-
like wearing like a striped shirt and like cargo pants, like he's like a pirate.
It could be a disguise. Our first mate is very good at disguising.
That's true.
Let's call Mr. Flinch up here. He can sort it out.
Yeah, I'm not sure if he's a vampire disguised as a pirate or a pirate disguised as a vampire.
Or an astral elf disguised as a vampire pirate.
Ooh.
Like it's like let me explain. So we are members of the crew of Grimzod. We were aboard one of the ships that was destroyed, but Grimzod escaped, so there's hope still.
Oh, Grimzod, that was the person who, well, it's kind of debatable, but Topola either left him or he left her, but they are no longer together.
He stares at you in confusion. He's like, "I don't know Topola or Grimzod's past, but yes, that's possible."
Well, if there's anything I know, is that anyone who is an enemy of the Xaryxians is a friend of ours. So I like you.
He smiles big, and you see the fangs. It's like, well,
Except
that's
I'm
good.
nervous about those right there, these things.
Yes.
Oh, these fangs. Don't worry. I don't drink blood like a traditional vampire. I use this, and he holds his hands up, and like they kind of like sparkle with this like necrotic energy.
Ooh.
I've heard of worlds with sparkling vampires.
I
So
wish I knew enough Twilight to make a joke. That's it. Just you got the one joke I have.
I
So-
set it up, but yeah.
So your captain and the leader of this fleet has escaped?
I believe so. I don't see his galleon.
And he's
The
got
last
a
one.
galleon.
He's got a galleon. The last breath. If we can find him, then I think that I'd be happy to join your crew. So would Dimitri. And
Just the
Dimitri's
two
like
of you?
standing and staring.
Nobody else?
He looks out. I don't see anyone.
Okay then. I guess crew, this is everybody.
So you've got two vampirates that are wanting to join the crew. Since we're getting to the end, do you
I'd like-
allow this?
I'd like to cast Detect Thoughts to try to get an idea of what their intentions are. Just kind of that at that first level, just to any strong feelings where they wouldn't necessarily, they're surface thoughts. They wouldn't necessarily know I have cast this. They would have to do a wisdom saving throw DC
Cool.
14.
I just realized these vampires actually had real names, and I did not give you the right names.
Yeah, but you gave them awesome names, though.
Sorry,
Yeah.
Vlad and Dimitri. Their names are actually really similar to what they said. So I'm just gonna roll a d20, and we'll see what happens. So this one failed, and then are you doing it on both of them or just one?
Let's see. I might only be able to do it on one.
I think you're right. I think
Oh
it's
wait,
just
for
one.
certain creatures, you can focus your mind on any one creature. Okay. So yeah, I did it on Vlad. He's the spokesman.
Yeah, Dimitri is nobody's thinking much right now. Dimitri looks a little hungry. But anyways, actually I don't think vampires actually eat people. I think they just drain their life with their energy drain. Yeah, they're pretty bad actually. So yeah, they do try to eat people. Anyways, so thoughts are just basically he's just thinking like, I need to get out of here. It's a miracle. I can't believe this has happened. You know, maybe we can get back to Grimzod and we can rally the forces. Like he's totally like he's thanking his lucky stars that he's able to make it. But no ill intent that you perceive.
Okay. I don't think he's gonna dig any deeper, but he's definitely gonna keep an eye on these hungry vampires.
So as you're having this conversation, you know, you've pulled out of hyperspace or whatever. I need to look at the real term. And Crux comes aboard. And he says, "Ooh, watch out, vampires!" And he takes his musket and he aims it to shoot.
No.
Oh, they're cool.
So is anyone
These guys
stopping him?
are
Yeah.
enemies of the Xaryxians. They're our homies.
Yeah, I will try to
block.
grapple. I'll try to grapple, and I have as a plasmoid have advantage on.
Go for
attempts
it.
to
Give me a roll.
And
Okay.
I'm heroically throwing myself in front of.
Don't kill them.
My strength is not great, but I have advantage, so hopefully something good will happen.
No!
That was almost a crit. All right, you pretty much are gonna beat this. I don't think it's like.
I
Yeah,
just
you're
did
fine.
normal,
You got it.
but okay.
Yeah, you got it. You win. So yeah, so you can like goo up on the gun and like yank it down and like get control of Crux, and you'll say, "What do you mean to have these vampires serve on our ship?"
It's just two.
They are part of Grimzod's crew, who is, I think, the ex of your friend. I forget her name now. Tupelo? Is that in Mississippi?
Tupelo.
Tupelo.
Tupelo, honey.
Tupelo. I'm bad with names. That's why I have to write them all down.
Yeah, I don't remember who left who, but I think she left him.
That's what she said. Yes.
Yeah. So he didn't break up. That's very important. We have to remember that.
He tries to like struggle out. He's like trying to get out. He's like, "Well, the vampires, they're evil. They'll drain our life force when we're sleeping."
But no, they said they would not do that.
Yeah, they're kind of ticked off at these same elves. They might drain their life force. That'll be a net positive for us.
Vlad's kind of
We
like doing that, and he's like, he's right.
We should consider finding them nourishment, though, because even a reasonable person, when starving, will, instincts and survival instincts in particular will prompt them to do what they must to survive.
Oh, sure.
So,
What do you
They're-
guys think about fish?
You like steak? Or
Living or
no. I've got 4 tiny fish.
living or
No.
you may need to catch some more so they can feed on them whilst they're still alive. If my studies are correct, that it's typically I don't know your particular kind of vampire, but I think being alive is a big part of it.
Well, I'll tell you, we could settle for some dirt, maybe of grave dirt by any chance.
I
Yeah.
am fresh out.
Darn it.
And he kind of looks around helplessly at the others, like,
Left mine on Macopia. Darn it.
Just say, well, I think it's important that we try to find Grimzod. So there was one more crew member we should be on the lookout for, kind of a floaty, shiny type. He's a will-o-wisp. So.
Oh. Okay, I will look and see if I can find the shiny. Maybe I can climb the tree and look and see from the top of, if that's all right with you, Starbow.
Starbow is like, no, he's okay actually. He's healed a little bit. Starbow is like, you can climb. Yeah, you can climb him.
Okay. I would like to try to climb up and see if I can find the shiny.
Can you give us any other descriptors of your friend? Size, species?
Well, he's like looking at you, kind of like wondering. He's like, well, have you ever seen the will-o-wisp before? Sort of like a little tiny floating ball of undead energy.
We don't have those where I come from, but I think I've heard tell. I just have never seen one.
Well, you can't miss it. It's shiny, a little shiny light. So just be looking for a shiny, spooky light. And he's like doing like wispy hands.
I will look.
Yeah, and just what we'll do is give me a perception check, and this will be like how long it takes.
Okay, sorry. I started looking on D&D Beyond instead of just using. I don't know what I'm doing. Oh, everything is shiny. It is really hard to tell.
You still have one reroll, I think, maybe.
I don't think
fine. I
Use
think
them
we
all?
all used
Okay.
ours.
I think each one of us used one.
So we're gonna say that it's gonna take you 3 hours, but you will find the will-o-wisp eventually. And during this time, like Vlad and Dimitri are kind of like looking a little more agitated, and Crux is like refusing to, like you're having to like practically restrain him.
I'm restraining.
Yeah, you're restraining him, and he's resistant to it. And eventually, you will find a little will-o-wisp. And for the sake of time, since we're almost to the end, I'm gonna roll this through. That you'll find this will-o-wisp, and Dimitri will like hail it, and the will-o-wisp is gonna like fly around, and Dimitri will say, "Good news, will-o-wisp knows where Grimzod is. We just have to follow."
Oh, that is good news.
Is he
Grimzod
nearby?
As a galleon, Crux. A big ship.
Mm-hmm.
Are you part of the coalition against the Astral Elves? Is that the Xaryxians? Are you a part of that, or are you just kind of free agent pirates?
We do what Grimzod wants. Grimzod is our master. So I think politics, you best to speak to him about it.
Would you be all right with us? I wouldn't say it's the brig, but could we put you somewhere that would put the Commodore here? This is his vessel. We want to be respectful. He is clearly agitated and worried that you may do us harm. I think it would be a gesture of goodwill if you would let us secure you somewhere until we reconnect you with your with Grimzod and your crew.
Toss me a persuasion check.
Okay. This is supposed to be what I'm good at, so fingers crossed.
Go for it.
Not bad.
Yeah.
And let me actually look at that. Oop. There it is. 22. So the Dimitri will look at, or Vlad will look at Dimitri. I forgot who's talking first. Vlad will look at Dimitri and say, Will-o-wisp tells us that we're only a few hours away, so we can spend some time in the brig. He looks a little bit like embarrassed.
Yes, and again, I apologize, but I in hopes of a peaceful, continuing peaceful relations between us. I think, we want to treat you well. We don't mean any disrespect, but we also must respect the Commodore here.
So they'll go in the brig without too much of a fuss, other than just kind of like they'll give like Crux a few like nasty stares, and Crux will be like, "Oh, why never?" And he's just like grumbling and grumbling. Crux will remember that, and what'll happen? And what will happen is you will, for the sake of where we're at, we're really pretty much to the point I want to end. So you make your way through the wild space. You're following the will-o-wisp. It's just sort of shooting in front of you and like dancing around. And maybe some of you are considering the like wisdom in this of following a will-o-wisp into the great unknown of space. But you're following it, and nonetheless, this is not a traditional party. Y'all are very comfortable with undead and bad stuff and whatnot. You follow it through, and it leads you into a storm, a cosmic storm. Lightning is suddenly just flashing purple and blue through purple and blue clouds, just crashing all around you. And you see, after a couple flashes, a few minutes of flashing, the silhouette of a galleon with torn, flapping sails, and it pulls into your view. And on the edge of the ship, with his foot up on the kind of the railing, you see a pallid, white-haired man wearing a metal mask on the lower half side of his face, and he has his left hand kind of out, and it detaches from his wrist, and it skitters up his arm and perches on his shoulder, and then it waves at you. And where is Crux when this happens?
I don't think. I mean, I would probably, as the one grappling him and just trying to soothe him, like not hurting him by any means. I think I would have hoped someone else would have led them to the brig, and would have still kind of been up on deck once they were in the brig. I don't know if Crux would still be on deck or not, but Ichabod would be if they were only like a few hours away from their destination.
Okay. So I think we'll end there then. So you see the ghost ship has flown through the storm. You see Grimzod, he's on the railing, hailing you with his undead hand. And Crux is fuming. You have a couple of vampires in the brig, and it's 10:30. So let's pause here, and we will pick up next time with Chapter 6, A Grave Alliance. Get it?
Oh,
Get it?
hey!
Here we go. Boom, boom, boom. So I appreciate y'all going for a slightly longer session. I threw some extra meat at you in that opening fight, so it dragged out a bit more. But I wanted to really get you something challenging, so I kicked it up a couple notches. And so I think that, but it was good. We got through what I wanted to get through, so it's perfect. You get to meet the pirate captain. And so next session is technically session 7 for us. No, it's not. Yeah, or is it? I don't know which session it is.
It'll be 6.
It'll be
Nice.
6.
Chapter 6. So we are on track for Chapter 6, and this is going to be the halfway point in the campaign after Chapter 6. So you'll get a chance to meet the pirate captain, learn what he's doing. Is he in the coalition? Is he not? Is he a free agent, as you asked? What is he up to in his ghost ship, his ghost galleon? And will he be an ally, or what's going to happen? So we'll find out next time in A Grave Alliance. That kind of spoils it a little bit, but it's you're going to be allying with something grave, maybe a vampire.
Unless Crux throws grenades at them.
Oh god. Yeah. How did he get 7 grenades when he was out?
That's true. That's technically not fair. I got to roll for them. He had a bunch.
They're
Just say
just
that.
decorative grenades.
That's right. It's always got the empty grenades. So we will pick up next time in theory, not next week. I'm sorry, not in 2 weeks, but in 3 weeks, in the 12th. So slight wrinkle to that, and I'll talk to the players about this out off stream. I will not be in the country that day, but I want to take a stab at trying to DM anyways, and I'll kind of get into the details privately just to give y'all some context. but hopefully we'll be able to make that session work and pick up and end the year basically with this being the end of the halfway point basically. Anyways, that said, let's kind of wrap things up. So thank you all for hanging out. Come hang out in the Discord. If you're not in the Discord, get in the Discord. We are in there all the time talking. That's how we recruit people. It's how we do community games. It's the place to be. There's people hanging out right now talking, probably not actually about our session, but there's people in there doing stuff.
Honestly,
who knows what they're doing.
they're probably playing this very campaign as well.
That's true. That's right. I forgot about that.
They play Spelljammer.
That's right. Yeah. So there's probably some stuff going on in there. But anyways, regardless though, come hang out in the Discord. If you are new to the channel, give it a Tac to BB. Tac to BB. I'm saying Tac to BB. Anyways, if you are not following the channel, I recommend following. I'm biased, but we've got a lot of cool stuff on here. We got Dragonlance coming up. We have Dragonlance running currently too, right? We've got Tyranny of Dragons. I don't know what the hell we got going on. Check the schedule. It's in the Discord, but there's lots of stuff happening on the channel. Lots of cool games. I will be coming back next week with Eberron. It's my homebrew campaign set in the Eberron setting with 5e. And in a couple weeks, I'll be back with Dolmenwood as a player. Hopefully I'll be alive, but we'll see. Lots of stuff happening. Follow us, check us out. I'm running out of energy, so I am done talking now. You may go. Goodbye. Let's raid somebody.
We'll go through a raid over to Sensei Suplex.
Good Lord in heaven. I'm sorry, everyone.
Love it. I am done talking now. You may go.
The end.
Thanks, everyone.
Oh, jeez. All right.